Here we go now. 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 Here we go now.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to PUBG Mobile Club Open. Of course, it is going to be of the wildcard region, and all thanks to our media partner, that is going to be Nemo TV. I'm your host and analyst, Ankit, and joining today is going to be Shivansh, and this is going to be the day 3 where Group A and Group D is going to be head-to-head. So what are expectations? Straight off the bat, I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay, so Ankit, thanks a lot. First of all, thanks a lot for this warm welcome. And you know, every single group, I'm talking about A, B, C, D, all the teams, they just played their 4 matches. So they just completed their 1/3 of the journey.
Yeah.
Now, Group A and Group D, from today, they'll continue their journey. And now they're just going to play their 8 matches, basically. They're going to play their total 8 matches today. But I'm very much excited because some of the teams, they are playing so good.
I mean, exactly, if you talk about teams like Paradox and KTM, I mean, some teams really faltered on, but since you're talking about the teams that have really chimed upon to its own perfection and have done really good, I need to talk about Paradox OC, the team that is still on the top, the team that finished the day, that is coming in from Group A, that got 2 chicken back-to-back, and mind you, for all the audience and for you also, it's the team that is still on that hat-trick because they finished the day off with a 2 chicken, and then it was not just their day because it was yesterday when Group C and D were coming in. But since it is A and D, it is going to be a lot of ruckus. But for now, it is going to be the tournament explanation that we are heading to see, and this is the day 3 mark that plays, the highlight that plays, where A and D are going to be going head-to-head. Each group plays 12 matches and 4 matches per day, as we have seen in the past.
Yup, so in semi-finals, we have 32 teams divided into 4 groups, and only 16 teams will move forward for the finals. And again, it is going to be 4 matches per day. But the important part is, Ankit, the matches are decreasing slowly and steadily.
Exactly.
They're playing every single match, and you just mentioned that Paradox, they are up for their hat-trick. And the question, it is going to be still on top that if they're going to, secure that hat-trick or not.
Exactly, but for the moment, it is going to be the prize pool that is massive amount, $29,200, and that gets segregated to the first place getting the $3,600, second $2,000, third is going to be $600, and that keeps decreasing. And the best part for all the tournament, it is going to be each and every one. I mean, group stages team are also going to be getting $300, so I mean, lot to think about, lot to learn about, a lot to take about. But do you see that qualified for PMPL Season 4?
Yes.
That is the caption. But what are they going to playing for? That is going to be the point structure. How are they going to be cementing their place? How they're going to be maneuvering the place? Take us through.
Okay, so it is going to be the standard point structure we are just witnessing from last year. And if you're going to finish at the first position, you'll get 15 points. If you're going to finish at the second position, you'll get 12. Then it keep on decreasing. But if you end up on 13 to 16 position, you will get 0 placement point. But if you somehow manage to secure some kills, then for each kill, you will get 1 kill point. So this is going to be the X factor for some of the teams. But always focus for that chicken dinner.
Indeed it is. I mean, a chicken is what helps you. But talking about chicken, since you mentioned that the SCL NVS got the chicken, but still on the 8th position. We'll talk to this. We'll come to this. But for the moment, it is going to be the roster, the teams that are playing for today. It is going to be KTM Rage, Paradox OCE, PUBG, Minion, Esports, Cosmonauts India. I mean, lot of thing that they showed on the first day of this PMCO Wildcard region, when PUBG Minion was just looking gobsmackingly fantastic. And then it was Sixth Sense, Rogue Nation, Ixcel, straight out of Fiji. So a lot of teams that we still see in the overall ranking are coming in from Group A itself.
Yes, because a lot of teams who are at the first page of the leaderboard, they are from Group A. So we can see that Group A, they are looking pretty strong. But we have the squad roster from Group D. We have NTD, Nepal, NPC, SCL, NVUS, Wengens team. And we have the Third Eye, Team Godfathers, the Legend Esports, and the Fear 10. But the important part is PUBG Minion Esports are at the 3rd position with 52 total points. So again, for sure they will be heading for that chicken dinner for the first of the day.
Indeed it is. The schedule, the pretty much same Shivansh that we have seen in the past, Group A and D going head-to-head. And this is the only change, but this thing remains the same. Erangel followed by Miramar, Sanhok, and Erangel. But since every time the day starts with Erangel, the day ends with Erangel, so a lot of opportunity for the team that really have a good feet on the Erangel. And talking about that, I would really want us to discuss how SCL NVS, when they were in the yesterday's gameplay, got the chicken in the game of Erangel, still sitting on the 8th position. Since it is again Erangel's start of the day, do you think they are going to be making a comeback?
I think so. Chances are there, but they have to focus on those placement points. And we were discussing about this before the pre-game segment, and we were literally discussing about the same thing, because if we talk about their kill points, they have secured only 16 kill points, and after that second dinner, they have 21 total points. If you're going to exclude those second dinner points, then it is going to be only 6 total placement points.
Indeed it is, but the overall, as we're just talking about, just get it more clear, just get it more lucidly clear as we get to see the overall ranking. Paradox OCE right there at the top with 4 matches, 78 total points. Reaper X following them next with 66. So there is a drop if you see Shivansh, 12 point difference between them and Reaper X. So Paradox OCE playing at the first game, just imagine what sort of attributes that they have brought. Paradox OC played the first game, obviously the first day of a wildcard. Eventually, it's the nerve that you actually need to hold on, and in that doing so, they not only got the 2 chicken, they are also at the spot where they are, I guess, 12 points above Reaper X, the team that played yesterday's gameplay. So right off the bat, right off the go, it was Paradox OC that really put curtains over everyone, but really need to talk about some of the team, talk about KTM Rage, still on 16th position. I mean, this is a team that really have a good experience on their collar. They have played the past PMCOs, and since they are not performing as they were expected to by obviously by the fans and obviously by the players, it is going to be a tough affair and a tough challenge for us.
For sure, it is going to be a tough affair for them. But again, they are on the safer side right now because they are at the 16th position. We all know only top 16 teams will qualify for the finals, but it is going to be a little bit difficult for some teams to stay at the same position. Now, I just want to talk about this particular team, Cosmonauts India, because look at their kill points. 14 kill points, only 3 placement points. So their kill department is so strong, but they have to focus on those placement points.
14 kills. I mean, the only team on the last half of the chart from behind that 24 to 32. I mean, that 14 kill. I mean, that shows the team has the caliber. The team has that metal to actually show in terms of kill that they were securing. All they just need to do is that get those placement point right, else it will be too late, because as you perfectly mentioned, 1/3 of the game has already been done, and since 4 more game, I mean, they will be coming close to that halfway mark of the total 12 match that they will be playing in the semi-final. So today, since Cosmonaut is playing from Group A, a lot of thing is on the stake, but Group D, they are also playing. Talk about teams like NTT Nepal, the team that really performed and really outshined other teams. It's the only team, I guess, from Group D that came at the 4th position. For the we are heading towards the first game of the day. The game of Erangel is on our way, and Shivansh is going to be my co-pilot here, and he will be taking us through this journey.
Okay, so we can see the playing path. It just starts from the western side of the map, or we can say northwestern side of the map, and it starts from the western side of George Pool and heading towards the southern side of the military area. Again, this type of playing path, I love it, because the western playing path always give you an upper hand to go to those incredible positions like Quarry, Ferry Pier, Primos, even military base. George Pool, one of the best area to get some good loot. But Pochinki, every single time it is going to be glidable, because again, it's the heart of the Erangel map. Now, what do you think, Ankit, where the circle is going to form, where the first circle is going to form?
The way the circle is notoriously playing and the way it is actually making it tough for them, I seem maybe we might get to see, because a couple of circles we have seen the Erangel that has completely constricted on the area of a military base, or on the 2 bridges, the 2 parallel bridges that we get to see, the Novorupnoy bridge and the military bridge. So somewhere maybe down the line, but for a change, maybe we might get to see western or an eastern side of the, I mean, a lot of opportunity to talk about, but for the moment, it is gonna be TGF. The team, the Godfather, that really tried to make a comeback. If you remember the yesterday's gameplay, they really were looking strong for a moment, because and Ronak was talking about that it's the time, it's the high time that they actually need to just start performing, and they started performing. But as we were just talking about the circle with its shift, it is going to be the western side. For the moment, it is going to be Vengeance that is pretty much close towards the other player, and SOF, the team straight out of Fiji, have been knocked off and chopped off into pieces, as 16 teams are there. Some players have not joined the lobby. I guess it is from the sides of Vengeance, SOF's players. So straight out of Fuji is completely very close in the vicinity where NTT Nepal, Nasty is there. Nasty goes down as the knock comes in, straight out of the fight and right off the blood. They have got 1 kill.
And you know what, Goku, he had an AKM. We all know if your opponent has no helmet or vest, then one bullet can do the job. One bullet on head can knock out an enemy. And that's why Goku survived that fight. And that duel was literally pretty close. We can see that. He just brought down to only 5% HP. But I just want to talk about Roach. Now, they just head on towards the Zerki area and Rogue Nation, right? And they just head on towards the Zerki area and they're pretty close to one team. And if they just move towards the northern city of the George Pool, then the rotation, it is going to be quite easy. But the good part is they can gatekeep for that one particular team.
Maybe that can certainly be the case, but for the moment, it is gonna be KTM again onto the Military Bridge Island, where they are pretty much close to where it is gonna be PUBG Minion Esports. So now this is a team that I was talking about, and I really want to talk about them as for the moment, because this team, I mean, they started things off pretty well. And then it was just not enough for them because it was other team. It was Paradox OC from the same group that did really try to overshadow them. Now, since the team is again playing, and every time when group plays in, it is going to be KTM, Rage, and PUBG Minion Esports going in. The banter continues as now they are in the military base island. Since KTM knows that it is PUBG Minion Esports that loves to go towards the area of military base area on any fine day, if they try to gatekeep them and if they try to hunker down and hound them at the same place, it is going to be tougher. But Pochinki is where the observers want us to say the story and tell the story, as we are going to heading towards a fight that might erupt between Sixth Sense, and it is going to be of Cosmonauts India, where the players are forming in the positionings and the players are going formation, but some other team we get to see the one more colored marker. That means 3 teams in the same vicinity, and on the backhand side it is going to be of a team, the third eye. So now the third eye coming in from Group D. This is one big challenge that Group A will be facing, because when they played against Group B, there was not much of challenge. But since Group D players and teams are pretty much aggressive in terms of the gameplay and the synergistic gameplay that they bring in, it is going to be tough affair. 3 teams in Pochinki. What do you expect?
Okay, so as you just mentioned, like you just asked me this question, what I expect, and that is the third eye, they always have an upper hand. Why? Because they are holding that outskirt of Pochinki. They have a good control of those 5 compounds which are just present towards the eastern side of the Pochinki. And what they can do is they can control the center part of the Pochinki. They can spot down the players if they are on top of the 3-story, as well as if they are on top of the roof. Then they can easily take them down. But look at the position of the players from Cosmonauts India. 2 players are just inside that one single compound, and Jin, he is a little bit far away from the pack, but still he's collecting a lot of information. And if he's just going to focus on that information, if he's just going to deliver that information to his teammate, and then they can capitalize on this information, then they can easily take down one single team in an instance.
Not much of a loot. Not much of a loot is what the teams are up to at this moment, because some teams, some players really do have those helmets and those shields just to not allow the bullets come onto the face and onto the screen. But some of them don't really have it. But for the moment, it is going to be Jin that is spotted on the players of Team Saga. Saga was pretty much careless in just trying to make a rotation. Survives on the sliver of an HP. He tried to give that spray with the help of AKM 3X. I mean, a lot of meta that we are getting to see. Now he is trying to obviously throw that grenade, but Jin needs to realize that he has been spotted down, as from the right hand side it is going to be Eclairs that is sweet poisoning him.
Yeah, Jin just brought down to only 80% HP, but look at that. Saga barely surviving on that pixel HP, but he's safe inside that one single compound. But I'm curious about the position of Tequila, because he hasn't compromised his position yet. He's still present on the back lines, and he can be the surprise factor for the team Cosmonauts India. But where is Beast? Because we just spot down the 3 players from Cosmonaut India, right? 2 players sticking together, just 2 players are very close to each other, and one single player, Jin, who was at a different location. But I know Blancos, it was Blancos, who was toward that squad house which is present on the western side of the Pochinki. Now that squad house plays a pivotal part if you want a good hold in the Pochinki area. Why? Because from that particular location, you can easily spot out any player if they are running out in an open area, as well as you will find a vehicle present at the back lines.
Indeed it is, and that is pretty much a different angle where Sixth Sense players might not be expecting to get being pinched down. But for the moment, it is going to be Jin that is constantly on a move, trying to just pin him down with those FPPs, Angle and TPP, just switching things around and on. He's just not being passive, but making things unsettled. But Eclairs is the one that is pretty much close to where Jin is positioned for the moment. But for the moment, the news from the center, it is going to be that no knocks, no kills have been secured from Pochinki, as now one team that was present, that was of third eye, has now followed himself up, and now they have retreated and they are going somewhere down the line, somewhere other place, but not anymore in Pochinki.
Yeah, the third eye, they just, disengage from this Pochinki area and they're just falling back. They're just going to focus on those rotations because, why? We just had the 7-minute 40-second mark and these two teams still inside the Pochinki area, up against each other, dishing out some amount of damage, exchanging some bullet. We can see that they just traded off some grenades as well, but no outcome yet. But Saga, he's still on 40% HP. He found one first aid kit, but he's not using it yet. Just going to save it till the end. Maybe might help him in the final circle, or we can say in the second circle. But look at that, Beast OP. His position is so good, and it seems like, Ankit, he spotted down Tequila, but the third eye, now they are very close to Blancos.
Indeed it is, and Blancos was the one, as you mentioned, that he was holding that compound, that squad house, but for the moment it's going to be the Tequila that has brought the X factor, and now the standstill, the thing that was settled in truce and peace, have now been broken off, as now Suvu goes down, but another direction, it is going to be SCL NVS taking down the fights between KTM Rage, and I guess that fight is happening on the southwestern side, where if the team like KTM Rage was trying to give a rotation, maybe that could have been cut off, but for the moment, it is going to be the area of Pochinki, where Beast OP is just trying to give him the revival, but Shaka takes him down as Blanco goes down, and the third eye, a complete charge in onto single player. This is really haunting them down, as Blancos goes down. The players are bruised up with the bullets that are being peppered down, but for the moment it is going to be Cosmonauts that are just trying to maybe fall themselves away, else it will be too late.
Yup, and you can see the same thing for K-Team too, because they are losing out a lot of individuals right now. Ixcel slowly and steadily closing in the distance, pins it down, 3 players inside one single compound. Saga spots down Jin, just out a lot of damage. Jin just barely surviving on 50% HP, but now Cosmonauts, they are in the way more trouble, because Jin, they lost him too. Now it is going to be a 2v4 skirmish for these two teams. Sixth Sense versus Cosmonaut. It seems like Sixth Sense, they are going to win this fight. But you know what, Ankit? Anything can happen.
Indeed it is. Anything can happen at this moment. But for the moment, it is going to be Sixth Sense that are slowly and steadily pushing onto the players of Cosmonaut India. Cosmonaut India's players have really tried them to hide themselves in the smoke cloud. This is a good strategies, but for how long, that is going to be the question, because the number of smokes in the early stage of the game, that is limited, to be honest. But Sixth Sense Frenzy, as you just were quite astonished with the fact that they have taken some different directions, but one player has fallen down as Beast OP has gone down. Sixth Sense completely pouncing upon to the player, and it's just a moment where Cosmonaut India will be completely wiped out, and it's still one player left from the same direction. It is going to be Suvu that is hiding himself in the same small position, that extreme corner, but he will be taken down. He tried to take him down. He tried to bring one more rock as Eclairs goes down. Tequila goes down. He has a 1v2 situation. He tried to one more finish before he goes down. Saga 1v3. There we go. Can he secure one more knock? Can Suvu do 1v4 in all these situations? He has already finished up 2-3 players from the sides of Sixth Sense, and it's just a moment of time where this little guy, where this little champ has actually made it to perfection. And Suvu, what a game. It's still Frenzy left. He is trying. He is trying. Frenzy, he tried to blind him spot, but for the moment it is going to be him, Suvu, that will be using that 14 bandages. But what a fight, what an eruption that has been happening. Suvu, man of the moment.
Yup, right now, to be honest, he's like the MVP for Cosmonauts India. But I just want to mention out one thing. As I just mentioned earlier, that Frenzy position, it was amazing, and he was the one single lad who gave an opening to the players of Sixth Sense so that they can rush towards that one particular compound. But it just fired back. Kudos to Suvu, because he was holding inside the smoke while in an FPP mode. And that's why that Uzi spray, we all know, the fire rate is insane, so as the damage, we're going to get like every single bullet, the opponent will go down. And right now, Sixth Sense, barely surviving on 2 players. Now it is a 1v2 situation. But you know what? Suvu, he has no helmet, Ankit. So he has to be careful if you're going to take a duel. Now, the duel, it is going to be a little bit tough for him because he has only 12 bandages, no booster in his backpack. He has an M416 as well as an Uzi. 35 bullets loaded in that Uzi, staying inside that panic room in the squad house, and he's just keeping an eye on the players of Sixth Sense.
Indeed it is, as you just mentioned, the players are taking consideration of the players, but onto a different direction. It is going to be again straight out of Fiji that are taking the fights against Fear 10, and Goku is the one that is holding himself behind that small little wall. Goku is now charging onto the players of Hades, and Hades, we have known, this is a player that really don't go down generally in the 1v1 fight. From the back end side, it is gonna be some different players that are coming into the fight, and Fragger number 1 takes on Goku, but no, straight out of Fiji. They are out in the open, they are being hounded down and peppered down by a lot of bullets, but for the moment it is going to be Neil that will be getting the revival, as for sure.
Ankit, that push was unnecessary from the side of Goku. He knows that there are 3 players inside that one compound, and one player, he might just stay behind that shack, but he's still not using any utilities, just put straight towards them and without any backup, and that's why he got killed in that position. Now, straight out Fiji, they just brought down to only 2 players. We can see players, teams are losing a lot of individuals, and look at that rotation. It is risky, but still, they're going to survive for day long. But the Fear 10, they're still holding these 4 compounds, and we all know that they are inside circle, and they are literally dishing out a lot of damage onto the players of every single player who are moving from the same vicinity.
Fear 10 cutting off the rotation of each and every team. We obviously the third eye that just came into the favor, and now it is going to be Rogue Nation that are slowly and steadily coming in as far as the things are concerned. It is going to be Fragger number 1 that is trying to pin them down, as Neil is also making sure, and they are holding a very good angle for the moment as all the 4 players are in a split. But it is just a 13-minute Shivansh into this match, and a lot of fight that has actually come into the favor, and I'm really wanting to see where the players of Vengeance are actually positioned, because Vengeance, I mean, this is also a team that really took all the resurrection, those Vengeance, if the players from their side are going down. But for the moment, it is going to be Rogue Hitman that is out in the open. Zeus is finding himself in the smoke area, and it is going to be straight out of Fiji. I mean, what a horrendous rotation, I would say, because straight out of the bat, once a moment ago, it was them that was into pretty much close in the vicinity of Fear Nation, and now it is going to be the Fear 10, and now they have found themselves losing 1 player while trying to make a rotation, while they just caught off with Rogue Nation Hitman. Hitman with 1 kill is looking pretty strong at the moment, but not all in all, as a totality as 1 player, and that is going to be 11 that has been finally thrown away from this match. It is going to be the last player. It is going to be the last player, Loki, and we have seen in the past that Loki has that caliber to actually survive towards the last stage of the game. Will it be so? Will it be so for this time? That is going to be the big question. But as far as the survivability is concerned, he just has 8 bandages, no first aid whatsoever.
And 1 painkiller and 1 energy drink in his backpack. So yeah, the survival, it is going to be a little bit tough for him, but he's still staying inside that shack for a little bit long, because he's still inside the circle. Now, look at that. Pochinki, still 3 teams out there, and so we're still inside that 1 squad house in the Pochinki area. Still holding that 1 particular compound for so long, and obviously he's pretty close to the play zone, just 50 to 60 meters far away, and that is not going to be that difficult for this particular lad. But I am happy with the rotation of TGF, because they're just playing on the edge, and again, look at that.
What a circle shift. What a circle shift. Just the 1 compound, not a multi-compound, but there are multiple compounds on the southwestern side. But apart from that, I don't see anything that the players and the teams can find themselves into and call themselves a safe house, a safe heaven. Just a pretty 2-3 fortified area. And in that doing so, it is going to be the Godfather that is pretty much close towards them, and they are going to be eyeing upon them. But as soon as we got to see, it is going to be the area of Pochinki, where Cosmonauts have now been completely wiped out, and now all of a sudden it's going to be PUBG, Minion, Esports that are now charging onto the player of Sixth Sense, as Frenzy is now taking the fight, and Tequila onto the backhand side. Both the players are in the moment, are the man of the moment. As you remember, it was also Frenzy that really saved Sixth Sense and the last player from getting things shoved off. But for the moment, it is the best possible way to find yourself a run out from this position, as if they don't, it is going to be the PUBG Minion that are the kill-hungry team, as we have seen in the past, that might be taking them down. But for the moment, it is going to be the red smokes coming out of it. Means one thing, that's the air exclusive drop that brings in, and there we go, it was an AUG.
Yeah, and we have the lavish weapon inside that 3rd airdrop. But as just mentioning about PUBG Minion Esports, they were up against the players of Sixth Sense, but now they're just focusing on those rotations. Obviously, rotation, they are going to play an important role in your standings, how you're going to end up in the maps, basically. But I'm quite happy because right now the rotations, they are going to be a little bit difficult for some of the teams because as you just mentioned, there are very less compounds, but look at that. Bad boy. Wow, that was a risky move, but still he's surviving, and for how long?
No, that is not going to be the case. Cocktail will take him down, and the player will be finished things off, and you get all those, obviously the first aid also.
Ooh,
I mean,
look at
just
that.
take the damage and just get the first aid injected in yourself.
You know what?
That's a gift. That is a gift. I mean, the table actually gives you all these things. I mean, you love to have all these cuisines on the tables, and then you have first aid served on the table.
Tasty painkillers and first aid.
Have you tasted it?
No. yeah, obviously.
Have you tasted the painkiller?
Yeah, in real life.
How does it taste?
Sour?
Fine, but for the moment it is going to be Vengeance that are in the center of the circles. The player are, and mind you, Shivansh, it is going to be Ashish that is the last player surviving. And since the team joined with just the 3 players alive, it is already the moment where the team is just surviving on the one single player. And this is not going to be an easy affair for themselves, as now they are going to be hounded by different teams from different directions. But SCL and VS, I mean, 2 kills already onto the name. They are holding the compound, the important compound from the southern side, where they are holding all those small little warehouse. But PUBG Minion, they are going down slowly and steadily. They made a push onto the players of the legend Esports, but still not enough to make things quick in this moment. Punk is really hiding around in some situation, or it needs a revival. Grenade and Molotovs are being continuously used, but for no success till now.
You know what? Falls literally tossed 4 utilities in just 10 seconds frame. 3 grenades, in fact 15-second frame, 3 grenades and 1 Molotov, but no outcome yet. On the other side, Magat, he was ready, now he's just falling back so that he can reposition himself because only 2 players surviving from the side of the PUBG Minion. We were talking about this thing because their rotation, it is important, but right now you are just got stuck in a fight, and right now you're not showcasing that amount of power. But if we're talking about power, you can never forget this one team. Paradox, we can see that one single player just stepping up, got that domination title. Thampe from the other side goes down by the play zone, so as Punk.
Exactly, Punk going down to the play zone thanks to that on courtesy that the blue zone has come in. But all of a sudden, Falls has also gone down, and this brings down to Magar ROP. The last player surviving. The player will be recalibrating as the player are now getting the revivals. But Punk, no. Things are not looking good for both the teams, as now they just cannot face the onslaught that is coming in from the blue zone and just cannot afford to get the blue zone coming into the frame. But for the moment, it is going to be the circle shift that I'm going to be talking about in all these. It is going to be NPC from Group D. The third eye, pretty much Group D teams are into the fortified areas, and rest Group A teams are finding themselves into the open position. And this is what I was talking about. The aggression, I mean, those are the aggressive teams. They really don't want to find themselves in the passive position, but really want you to be in the position, because at the end of the day, it is the point that matters. It is the point that matters. And talking about the points, it is now gonna be Paradox charging upon to the players of NPC. The grenades and the Molotovs are being used, but will this bring one more knock? We have to still wait for that. But on the other hand side, it is going to be a sad demise, a sad perishing for KTM Rage, as now they have been eliminated at 13th spot. But NPC 2 players surviving, it is going to be a tough charge, as now the Paradox players are charging in. And we have known this guy Hazer, he has been the man of the moment when he has played in the past. Will he bring the same fathomable thing? Will he bring the same glory? We have to still wait for that.
But you know what? I just want to mention about this team as well. Paradox OCS is just talking about that one single player. But look at that. They already cleared out their backlines. There's not a single team present in their backline. So they are pretty safe with their location. Straight out of Fiji, they got eliminated at the 11th position. We're going to find that one first aid kit on top of that blue.
lot of first aids are being served. I mean, I guess on the tables, on the crates. I mean, every sort of place you get to see a lot of things are actually chiming in. But for the moment, it is going to be SCL and VS that are pretty much close, and they have got the 4 kills of the man of the moment. And I was talking about this thing, when SCL and VS comes into frame, they are the one that are returning, and this is going to be a tough thing for TGF. The team is holding on the edge of the circle, but one thing that can go into the favor of SCL is that they are in a split. There are big rocks. The terrain are actually favoring SCL and VS, and you have that brilliant, that magnificent, that gobsmackingly looking McLaren that if get destroyed, that can eventually act as a shield for themselves to get hounded. But till now, Paradox, they know that there is one team in the small warehouse, but they are not pushing. That means the player are tuning their aggression with their passive gameplay. With Para G1 holding a different angle onto that blue crate, things are looking pretty good for the moment. But they are not in a good position, I would say, because at any point, at any moment, if on the backhand side, if the player gets hold towards those important ridges, they can pin them down. But sadly, it is going to be 120 meter is what they need to travel for.
You know what? There was a way more bigger reason why they were not pushing, because they were waiting for that circle to close in, and now they have their answer. But look at that. Hades spots down one player. Assassin goes down with this perfect M416 spray, but the kill hasn't been converted yet. But yeah, the kill confirmation is going to be there in just a couple of minutes. But look at that. This team is inside circle. Fear 10 secure 3 kills, but they are just playing with the 2-man lineup in this 5th circle. And we can see a lot of teams just closing in from the back lines. But he has that up in his hand, and we all know, Ankit, he can do a lot of job with that. And yup, instantly finished.
Bhasmi finishing things off in style for Paradox, as players are now falling down slowly and steadily, and Paradox not realizing the fact and being so careless, they just push on to directions where the Godfather players was actually positioned at the point for the last 5 to 10 minutes. If you remember, they were being pinged down by SCL's, the team that was in the purple marker. I'm still waiting to see where they are positioned at this moment, but for the moment it's going to be Entity, Nepal, Mogambo going down thanks to that onslaught that is coming in from the side of Team Third. But for the moment, it is going to be Ballisti that is just not stopping. And now, since TGF are making the rotation, it is again that purple mark team, SCL, NVS, that are taking things into the fight. They are looking pretty strong at the moment as NPC makes a push. It is going to be 1v2 affair where he tried to take one down. He was successful, but Shaka, he was there on the backhand side.
But time is going to play an important role because the zone is closing in. He is just 40 meters far away from the safe. Look at that. Feriwala literally spraying down random bullets in an open area, and not just collected one, collected 2 kills. And look at that. We can see
one more.
Okay, just thrown down in an open area.
Just one.
Another one.
There we go.
That was the final player from the side of that one particular team, and yup, they got eliminated from the lobby.
Feriwala, out of the total 11 kill, he has secured 5 kills, and in the past, not more than past him in yesterday's game, SCL and NVS, Feriwala was the one that was actually looking pretty much good in his momentum and the things that a fight he was taking about. And for the moment, he is the one with that mesmeric gameplay coming in, and he is holding the team strong. For the moment, it is going to be SCL from my side because they have the numbers advantage. They have the split, and most importantly, they have the ridges and the small hillock that they can play from, but from different direction. It is going to be a tough challenge for Ixcel. They are holding the center, not the center line, but the edge of the circle. They are finding themselves in the smoke, but where are the other smoke? The smoke cloud needs to be more thick and thin in order to find themselves away from situation, but NPC just got eliminated. And did I just see SCL Shafi going on to 5 kills? And yes, he is making sure, but from different directions. It is now going to be Ixcel that will be just trying to taking the glorious fight in the no wait. But for the moment, it is going to be Z-Boy that is holding the UMP. So a lot of SMG's action, as we have just talking about.
Z-Boy is the final player surviving from the side of Ixcel, so he has a lot of job as well as a lot of pressure on his shoulders, as well as he has to move inside the circle. So it's going to be a really difficult task for him. How are we going to manage that? Let's see what is going to happen. So right now he has no helmet, and look at that. Shafi slopped that one grenade. Is this going to do out the thing for him? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yep.
Still not. But Shafi needs to make sure that the way he is loitering around, he can be at any moment pinned down by the Team Third Eye players. And Team Third Eye is pretty much good in terms of the fight they take, in pretty much the spotting angle that they take. For the moment, it is going to be Sauron that is very close to where the SCL and NVS player are there. And now, there we go. Since one player, 98 from the sides of SCL and NVS, has been knocked down, the players are now charging. It is going to be the last player survive from the 6th, and that's going to be Frenzy. With 4 more teams, 9 players alive, we are heading towards the last part of the circle, where it is going to be 70 meters, close to 70 meters, where Frenzy needs to just prone down being the snake. But he's not the snake, he's trying to be the statue, and the statue will be put down 6 feet deep in that ground.
Yeah, but he collected a lot of placement points for his team, and that's the best part. Now, see, SCL, their teammates got knocked out and the revival is being initiated, but look at that. Slowly and slowly, the Third Eye, they're moving in, they're closing in the distance, they're pretty close to the safe zone, so as the player of SCL NVS, but Z-Boy, he's still surviving behind the hay bale, as well as that we can see that buggy cover, but he has a lot of loot. Look at that, 20 bandages, no first aid kit. Still, 20 bandages is enough. He has a level 3 helmet now. Before that, he has no helmet. But Crapster again goes down. So as Shaka, the third eye, they are going down. They're faltering down, and now it's a 1v4 against Ixcel. Takes down Sharpie. For how long he can survive? Now Feriwala received a lot of damage, but every single player just gonna run in towards him. But Feriwala goes down too. It's a 1v2 situation. Z-Boy slowly and steadily doing a lot of job for his team. Will he able to manage to take down another? And yup, it's a 1v3. Now a 1v1 situation. Z-Boy slowly and steadily closing in. Switch to a molly. FPM mode. Lobbed in just in favor of him. And yup, he knocked out another. What's going to happen?
Last player surviving, he's taking the charge. 20 HP is what he's fighting.
Oh,
He
yes!
does that 1v3, 1v4, and there we go. What a match for Ixcel. And for a moment, it was seeming like
1v4.
Ixcel was the one that couldn't have got the chicken dinner. He was the one that was finding themselves in the open position in that haywire situation. But just the 5 kills, and that's how the placement point helps you. I mean, we are talking about all these things. The kills helps you, the placement point helps you, but right point at the right moment when you strike the right thing, it is the one that will be getting you close towards the chicken. 1107 just the damage, but most importantly, they have made a big jump because they have come on the first half of the chart. 7th position is where they're standing at the moment. 20 total points. I mean, well deserved chicken.
You know what, Ankit? Before this match, they were at the 15th position in the overall ranking. Now, that big jump just gonna boost a lot of confidence. But Z-Boy, this lad was crazy. To be honest, literally, that was 1v4, Ankit, and he won that 1v4 so good and so marvelous to witness.
I mean, that's what just mesmeric to see. I mean, anytime at any moment, all these things are really good to see, really good to watch. But the way the teams actually strategized, that was just phenomenally well.
True. And you know what? The zone rotations, it was phenomenal. The third eye, they did a lot of job, to be honest. When they were moving inside the circle, Trapster, he was the only person who spots down the players of Ixcel, and then he just pins it down every single player behind that hay bale as well as the burst down Bucky. But Z-Boy, who was still surviving at that position, collected a lot of loot from the loot crates of his teammates, and you know what? The level 3 helmet played an important role in the final fight.
Definitely. I mean, every time you get those exclusive things coming out from the top, it is really good to have in the back.
And you know what? Just tossing out those Molotovs as well as just switching to those utilities in the final fight as well as in a 1v1 duel always give you an upper hand. That's why he knocked out another player who got a revival at the end. But to be honest, it was a close call. I'm happy how the fights was you know being initiated, but kudos to Frenzy from the side of Sixth Sense. He collected a lot of total points. They got eliminated at the 4th position and secured some good amount of kill points, but still those placement points are going to help them a lot.
Exactly, as you perfectly mentioned, the placement points. I mean, 15 is what they just got. But for the moment, it is going to be the man of the moment, the most valuable player of this match. And we will getting to see which is going to be the... Is it going to be the last player from the side of Ixcel? And that is going to be the MVP for this match. We have to still wait from the production and when we get to see. And yes, it is going to be not that moment, not that player, but sincerely, it is going to be Feriwala from the sides of SCL, NBS, getting 8 kills, 822 damage, healing done. I mean, it's nothing.
It's literally nothing. That's how much I scored in maths exam. 26. That's it. But you know what? Look at that. 822 damage, 8 kills. The survival time is insane. 25 minutes 44 seconds. But you know what? At the final fight, Feriwala, he scored down to 30% HP, and that charge in from his side, that was kind of unnecessary. But at that position, obviously, you just keep on thinking that, yep, it is a 1v4. We are going to win this. There's no chance that our opponent, he got stuck behind that one hay bale and he has no chance left. He can repeat from same angle and, you know, I can take him down. But Z-Boy, kudos to that lad. His confidence was highest in the room.
Indeed it is, but it is going to be moving on to conversation. It is going to be top players from this match. That is going to be the 4 or 5 players coming in from the sides of different teams. And again, it is going to be Z-Boy, 5 kills as you just pointed out. 859 damage is what they secured. 26-minute total survival time. I mean, this is the one lad that really made it possible for the complete team to actually have in their own way. Paradox G1, I mean, they really faltered down since the aggressive team that was coming. It was Ixcel, it was SCL. It was really tough to survive the situation, but you really need to commend this guy, Shaka. 3 kills, 561 damage, but it seems that we are heading towards the match summary for the day. That is also going to be talking and showing us a lot of things from this match, and this time it is going to be also the Feriwala. I mean, Feriwala, not only the healing done was also less, but maximum assist was also 3 in its number, and it's every time good to see 3-4 assists comes handy for any particular team.
You know, it's not all about your individual gameplay. It's about how you're going to help your teammates by just collecting some kills, as well as how you're going to collect some good amount of points from a single match. And that's why we can see he has the maximum assist, has the highest skill, but the longest distance kill is the most important thing. Look at that, showdown, 311 meters. It's insane in an Erangel match. But let's have a look at the match ranking, because I'm eagerly waiting for that. How many points SC and we just secured, and how many points the third eye secured? Okay, so SCL NVS, 30 points in their backpack, despite of the fact they end up on the second position, but still 30 points, 18 kills. Ankit, wow.
Wow. I mean, wow, 18 kill is always handy to come in. 30 points straight off the bat as CL NVS. I told you, I mean, at the start of the Day 2 game, it was SCL NVS that started chiming and they got the chicken. Again, the start of the game, it was not a chicken, but they were pretty much close to where they could have got a chicken thanks to that Z-Boy spray that came in with the help of UMP that really made it tough. But 30 kill, I mean, at the end of the day, that's the point that always matters. That's the point that always helps you to get close and make the close. And really wait to see how far they have made a leap since we have gotten to see the 7th #7 position. Other teams have also really chimed in since 21 and 20 point is shared between the third eye and Ixcel. Things are looking good for this moment 6, and so a lot of teams have got their points secured in terms of double digit.
Yeah, you know what, till the 5th position, all the teams secure double digits in terms of total points. But let's have a look at the second page of the match ranking. The Legend Esports on the 9 with 4 points in their backpack. But Cosmonauts India again relying on that, on those skill points. But that fight in the Pochinki against the players of Sixth Sense, and kudos to the final player from the side of Cosmonauts India. He was the final player, barely surviving on just 38% HP. Still manages to take down 3 player in a very, very close call, but still, you know, just secured only 2 total points. Again, it's a good thing. But KTM Rage and PUBG Minion Esports, 0 total point.
I mean, yeah, the team that was good on the positioning total points, but not getting. I mean, time and again we have seen that it is not going to be a thing, but we'll get to see in the overall ranking how far they have made, and not far. They have jumped down, and this is a downward leap that they have made 6th position, where they are standing at the moment after the end of 5 total matches. 52 total points is what they have secured after all in all. But Paradox OC is certainly topping the leader, and then it is going to be SCL NVS. 5 matches straight they have made on #2. 67 point is where they're standing at the moment. Still pretty much a lot to cater out, because 22 point is where Paradox OC is standing above them, and a lot to actually show for them. But on to the second half of the chart, straight out of Fiji, and a lot of team have got that red marker. That means they have made a downward leap.
Yeah, because, you know, what we can see, a lot of teams who have been playing their matches, like who are playing their matches today, they're just slowly and steadily just moving up, just climbing up, because they are just collecting some points. Now, Fear 10, they are on the 16th position with total 28 points in the backpack. Now, it's kind of decent. I'm not going to say that it's amazing, but still kind of a great outing for them in the previous match. But we still have 3 games left for the day.
Exactly, I mean 3 games for the day as you just mentioned, but before that we also have teams like NPC that got 1 green marker. That means they have finals on the top with certain placement points, gaining KTM Rage onto the other hand side. Now this is a team that I really want them to shine, because 3 more games left. Again, I remember in the early stage of the game it was team SCL NVS that really pinned them down when they were going for the rotation, and then it was not easy for them to just overcome the shadow that was forming on their head. It was again team Godfather that really made it look possible. Sixth Sense again, I mean, not a decent game, but still enough to get that green point. But Cosmonauts India, 1 more jump towards the downside, coming from 24th to 25th position. Still 16 kill is there. That means the team is pretty much good in terms of the kill that they're securing, the fight they're taking. But somewhere down the line, they need to get all these placement points.
But you know what? I just want to mention one thing, Ankit, and that is relying on the final player to collect some kills is not the way you're going to play. Now, one player, why Cosmonauts India lost that one fight? Because they never anticipated Frenzy on top of that roof, and that's why they got an opening. Jin, he was, every single time he was overexposed from a lot of angles, that's why he got killed. And the final player, we saw that he was in the squad house, basically he was the first player who was in the squad house, got picked by the players of the third eye.
Indeed it is, and with that we are done with the first game of the day. Eventually it was Ixcel that got the chicken, but 3 more games left, and that will be on the other side of this short little break.
Here we go now.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and once again welcome to PUBG Mobile Club Open. Obviously it is going to be the wildcard region, and we are just done with the first game of the day. It was Erangel, and what a bonkers start of the day. I mean, Ixcel, the last player, Z-Boy, getting that 1v3, 1v4 situation. But for the moment, it is going to be enough for us, and we are straight away heading to its a game of Miramar. We're getting to see KTM Rage players into that airborne situation. The players are getting closer and closer towards where they are heading towards the drop location. El Pozo, I guess, is where they are jumping towards, and since there is a lot of drop change, I mean, it's pretty much difficult to talk about the drop locations. I mean, KTM, since they have been jumping to 2 different directions, and one more fact, I mean, Shivansh, the flight path has certainly been not favoring, I mean, a lot of teams, be it with the game of Erangel, be it with the game of Miramar. Sanhok, it has been pretty much done because the map is slow, so anywhere you want to go, it is pretty much glidable. But not only it is going to be the flight path, it is also that circle that controls the mindset, that plays with the mindset. But for the moment, it is going to be Entity Nepal going towards the area of La Cobreria. I mean, they have a lot of place to loot, a lot to explore in the same situation, and some players are jumping towards the area of some different direction. But I would love to see which are the teams that would love to go towards the Lost Leones. Since the flight path is completely northern side dominated, it is going to be Chumacera and Lost Leones that is on the off side.
Yep, totally agree with that point, Ankit. But you know what, Lost Leones, any team will get, if they find a vehicle, then they can clearly just drive towards that one particular area. But look at the circle. Just form towards the eastern side of the map. Now, I just want to mention one thing. Before the circle just formed, I was just happy about the position of Entity Nepal, because La Cabrera, it is going to play an important role in your play, like in your game style, as well as in this particular map. Why? If any team just drop down near the El Pozo area, you can easily take them down while moving from the creative fields, because you have that height advantage. But you have to be careful from the sidelines. And look at that. Shot and spots down Bunk, and he instantly knocks him down with his Thompson. Now, he's just slowly and steadily moving in, just keeping an eye on that player. Now, they found an opening, and we can see the third eye instantly engaging in some fights.
Indeed it is. The fight is on, and I mean, you generally don't expect, the customs really don't allow you to see the fights happening in the game of Miramar. Eventually it was also the game of Erangel when you remember three teams dropped down to the days of Pochinki. So maybe this is the time where maybe since Group A and D are coming into frame, again, it is going to be the third eye. I mean, this is the team that passively waits for the rest of the lobby to go into the fight. But one thing that is common from the last match itself, it is that team third eye is pretty much close to where it is going to be the sixth sense. And in all the situation, Punk, that poor little guy, will be bleeding off.
Yeah, be just praying for his life. He got knocked out, hiding behind the truck. But now, again, as you just mentioned, Ankit, these two teams always drop down at the same position. We saw that both the teams, they were close to each other in the Pochinki. Now they are again close to each other in the Miramar map. But Saga, this man has a lot of potential. But to be honest, from this particular team, I like the way how Frenzy, play, because his individual skill, his 1v1 duels, the way he just, engaged in a fight, it was amazing. But now we can see the kill just got confirmed, and the first kill is being secured by Sauron, and from the side of third eye. Now, the game will slow down a little bit, but okay, I just spoke too soon, because look at that. Ixcel NVU is just up against the players of PUBG, Minion, Esports, and Falls. He was just sitting at the same position, got knocked out, got finished instantly. But look at that. One trade is also being initiated.
What was that? Can you please explain me? I mean, he was just trying to take that. I mean, it's okay to think, but I guess he was overthinking at this point, and he just got stuck in that thought process and was just not able to move an inch towards where he would have liked to. And since it was not the case, again, PUBG Minion Esports, this is not the start that we wanted. In the last game itself, they did falter down, and in this game, I really wanted them to have a very good hand. Since the players are now giving a lot of shots onto the player of SCL NVS, this is the team that carries the momentum, and the team is looking pretty decent at the moment. Feriwala is again the one that is holding the flank angle, because the rest of the players, 3 players, are in the compound, and Feriwala, he has been the X factor. Now, since Feriwala realizes that he has been spotted down, now he will be taken down, as now from different directions, he has been peppered down with bullets, and it is going to be Dhu that has finished him off, and obviously, 770 does it the business, and one more knock. So means the trade has been brought down, the fight is now evenly settled. Now it is all upon the intent of the team, that is, they are they looking to go for the push? It seems unlikely for me.
But you know what, at this position, I still say that SCL NVS has good chance of survive. Like they can survive a bit long, because they have the control of the circle, but they're pretty far. They have the control of this compound, but they are pretty far from the circle. On the other side, we can see the players are slowly and slowly moving away. PUBG Minion Esports just disengaged from the fight, as you just mentioned. The third eye, this team again engaging in some fight, and yes, Saga, as I just mentioned about this particular lad, he just picked up the first pick. He secured the knock, but will be able to confirm that kill. Only time will answer with question. But look at that. Still scouting that one area from the window. And you know what? The team already left, so now you can run out in an open just to be on the safer side. And Cosmonaut again engaging in an early fight.
Oh no, not looking good for also obviously rest of the team. It is going to be 6 cents that are now be pinged down by the third eye, and from the different direction, it is also going to be straight out of Fiji. So right off the bat, I really didn't expect this Miramar to go this haywire at this early stage of the game, but since it is not the case, it is A and D, the aggressive teams are in the fray, this was bound to happen. They are being burnt down, Molotovs and grenades are being used to perfection, and just because of that, Tequila has fallen down. That means it is going to be Sage and Frenzy that will take in the fight, and a lot of UMP actions already into the meta, as we have just gotten to see the last update, since it has been buffed with a lot of damage. And just because of that, eventually it's the gun that you get in the early stage of the game. You don't have to really loiter around for a long to get this gun in hand, and since it is more handy in these situations, the players are loving, the players are looking and have a very cherishing times and a merry time in order to get more knock and kill secured. But certainly it is going to be a brilliant start, off to an explosive start with what the team third eye has been. 4 kill is what they have secured. They are holding the zone, they are holding the important compounds, the important city. For for the moment, and it is going to be Sixth Sense that must be the last player. Saga, that it seems that the poor little guy don't have any sort of first aid, nor medic, nor bandage, and I really feel sad for him because losing the 3 friends in the early stage of the game and with no sort of bandages and things going into your hand, into your bag, I mean, he is left with nothing. He needs to loot some of the compounds. He did give a challenge this time again to Third Eye. This time again, Third Eye being the wisest one, being the most brilliant one in order to take the fight, did eliminate, and the last player still surviving. The players might be hunting down just like the vultures they do for the flesh and to carve out the last out player, but we have to still wait for that.
Yeah, we still have to wait for that, but the first circle just mentioned the closing in. But important part is Albaste. I just want to talk about this particular lad because he was just burning alive at a particular moment when the Molotov, he was just running in the Molotov and he received a lot of damage, but still it was Trapster who, you know, just sealed the deal for the side of Third Eye, and they literally pushed Sixth Sense from this particular area. Now Saga finally he found one first aid applied on him, and now he's just brought down to 75% HP, but we still have 16 teams left. 54 players are alive. The first zone is closing in, and Third Eye looking out for some vehicles so that we can focus on those rotations as well. But I want to mention another thing, and that is Cosmonauts. They lost 2 players while engaging in some fights up against the players of straight out Fiji.
And talking about that, it is going to be NPC again in the closer proximity where Paradox is actually positioned, and all these fights, I guess it is happening in the area of St. Martin, the close ridge with which Paradox are trying to take the control of. But for the moment, it is going to be NPC. They're finding as well in these cemeteries. There's destructive cemeteries. There are not a lot of roofs, and if the players try to charge in, I mean, they really need to take care of the angles. There are the warehouses where the player can actually position, but Paraviz is getting a lot of info while just hovering his and rounding his Coop RV in that closer vicinity, that ridge that we just saw. But since they realize that they want to make a fallback and get control of those important hillocks, those hills, those mountains, because whenever we play and see the game of Miramar, the one who gets the better half and the better control of all these mountains are the one that really have a startling performance and try to shine. And just because of that, we are getting to see Paradox players are slowly and steadily marching towards their favorite area where they are waiting to see. But onto the other hand side, it is gonna be Entity Nepal in the closer proximity. Straight out of Fiji, all 4 players are beautifully split in 4 different 3 different warehouses and the small little hut that is positioned at the moment with Sicario in the front angle. He needs to give the lot of info, but since Mahang realized the fact that it is going to be one team that has a complete stronghold over it, he decided to fall him down, and it seems that for the next maybe 2-3 moments, it will be a complete truce in this desert. It will be a complete truce in the desert, and maybe this is the silence before the storm. Maybe.
This could be the silence of before the storm, but you know what? I am still waiting for that when when all the teams will engage in some fights. In fact, I'm still waiting for those multiple fights, but let's talk about the circle, Ankit. Now, we saw that it was a northeastern side, or we can see it was eastern circle, and we love those eastern circle because you have a lot of areas to work on, like you can say the junkyard, as well as we saw those creative fields as well, but they were outside of the circle, it's present towards the La Cabrera side. Now, Entity Nepal, that one single player collected some information that there's one single team hiding in those compounds. Now, look at that. Saga, he's still in the same vicinity, and Lunatica, he got knocked out by the play zone. Okay, it's just the second zone.
Yeah. Second zone, not a lot of damage, but still enough to put the player down to the knees, and because of that, players are going down slowly and steadily, so some sad state of affairs. But for the moment, it is going to be Entity Nepal that are now slowly and steadily getting hold of those mountains, those ridges, those important ones that can come into the play. It is going to be Mahang that again coming to the frame, but SCL and VS, the players are going down slowly and steadily as one more player goes down. But Nasty with that different angle, with that X factor, can bring in a lot of glory for the team, as as now they are looking to charge. Maybe not, maybe yes, because the players are in a split. That means the player can actually bring a lot of information. But what am I seeing is that SCL and VS, the players are one by one are getting their numbers down thanks to that play zone that is coming. And not only that, it is going to be KTM Rage that are also playing, joining in. So in the early stage of the game, it is going to be the Circle that has become the MVP, and Shafi since has been finished off with the help of play zone. It is going to be SCL and VS. I mean, this was not something that we really did expect.
We never expected this, that one team will go down from the play zone. So play zone is literally ruthless. Secured 4 kills in his favor now. But KTM on the other side, after fighting against the play zone, they got stuck and end up against the players of Team Godfathers, I think so. And they are losing out some individual. In fact, 1 kill got confirmed by the players from Godfathers. If we talk about the airdrop too, look at that. The best weapon you can find in an airdrop in a Miramar map. The AWM, the green cannon with the level 3 kit. You can easily pop out some if you have an 8x, and you can do a lot of damage. But look at the circle, Ankit. Just formed towards the north eastern side of La Vendetta, and Junkyard is still inside the circle. As I just mentioned earlier, that Junkyard plays an important role as well as a pivotal role if you are just present towards eastern side of the map and is still inside the circle. You have those compounds, as well as you have those shacks to play with, and you can control a lot of fights. You can easily take down a lot of opponents, and you can easily surprise them with your position. But Neil spots down the players of Entity Nepal. He's on 60% HP, but still engaging in some fights, still want to engage in some fight. He has a mini 14 with the 6x. So again, a choice of weapon.
Indeed, the DMR's action we love to see, be it with the Mini 14, be it with the SLR, be it with SKS, and maybe if the drop allows you to have that Marksman 14 rifle, I mean, that can be the icing on the top, the cherry on the top that we talk about. But for the moment, it is going to Entity Nepal. The players are slowly and steadily getting close to where that important mountain is actually positioned. It is going to be a long journey. It is going to be a tough pursuit to get close of that. But for the moment, it is going to be Mahang that is finding themselves in the position where he is just trying to not only go away from the situation, but also making sure that from the backhand side there is no other player, there's no other team if they try to backstab them. A sort of different rotation with the player are playing towards the edges, and this is looking good for them.
It's certainly looking good for them. Now Entity Nepal playing on the edge, as you just mentioned. Now this is the way how you're going to play, but if we talk about playing on the edge, it's not to play. Sometimes it will work in your favor and sometimes it doesn't. Why? Because we saw in the previous match that PUBG Minion Esports, they were focusing on those early rotations, but still got punished. But Neil, he is just stepping in a death trap. Nasty. Just 20% HP spots down Ashish. But look at that. He just want to make an extra cover so that he can just heal himself up.
Is the grenade coming in?
I
just saw that player in the animation. The grenade comes in, but at the right point, he injected that first aid, and Nasty, he just survived on that. Still, he was a great HP, but the moment he find himself onto that leg, he has taken down the player. As now they are looking strong at this moment, as now they will be trying to take down the player with vengeance. The player are going down slowly and steadily, but Godfather, the team Godfather, at any moment, at any point might be pinned down, as now they are being hounded down by some different direction by Fear 10. Headers is using the utilities to perfection, but will it be enough for them to at least bring one more knock? Because the way Fear 10 pushes actually allows me to preempt that whenever they get the early knocks is when they go for the complete push-in. And since there is no knock for the moment, it is going to be the moment that they are just waiting for. The grenades are still being used, the projections are being done, some utilities are being used, the grenades and molotovs are being used in succession, but still not enough to get the knock. The players are in this compound. Junkyard is where they are positioned, and sadly it is going to be just 2 players. They are being hounded down. They are getting all the 4 footsteps. It is just a matter of time. They need to be putting themselves in a patience area and in patient situations, and just ask for the teams for that backup.
I'm still waiting for this fight, when these teams will engage in a fight. But Entity Nepal and as well as Vengeance, both the teams are up against each other, just killing as well as just trading off some of the players, just exchanging a lot of bullets, and we can see some players will go down, and they are going down too. As I just mentioned, Goku, he got pinched down and just got knocked out by that one grenade, but Shelby was holding a crucial angle, go for a reload and got punished. Now, the two players, where are the other two members of the Godfather? They were hiding behind that one rock. Look at that. Keo, he was cooking up one grenade, and this could work in his favor. And yeah, dished out some amount of damage. One player, he got knocked out, but look at that. They're just focusing on those kills, securing Neil with his amazing grenade, got the grenade title. But look at that. Now, Godfather, they're just focusing on...
And some other teams on the backhand side.
Yes, he's just backing off, and as you just mentioned, they have to be careful from the backline.
They are pretty much close. They are pretty much close. In a susceptible position is where I can get to see the Godfather's players are actually aligned. And since the knock has come in, now Neil is marching towards the last player where he will be taken down. It is going to be Bhasmi that is last player surviving into all these areas, and not for long, as it seemed that he will be taken care of. But it seems that he's still surviving. He is still on the backward side. But the Fearton, since they have actually eliminated a complete squad, not complete to be more precise, they need to make sure. But Paradox OC, Hazer, has taken the two players down to the knees, and it is going to be 1v3. I mean, a lot of things, a notorious gameplay that is coming. We have seen, I mean, this is the third time for the day.
Yes!
Started with Erangel twice in that match, and one more time. I mean, Hazer, this guy never fails to surprise us, never failed to surprise us, as he has got one more just kill. But since it's just the one kill in this number, it seems that the kill have maybe somewhere actually secured to some different directions or from different directions, but straight out of Fiji, they were just done. I mean, all of a sudden it was complete wiped out. I mean, just a second ago, the complete squad was there, and in a moment, they are completely wiped out.
They had a good start, Ankit. They secured 3 kills. They literally killed 3 players from the Cosmonauts India. Now, they got pinched down by this one player, Hazard. Especially the UMP is literally broken, dished out a lot of damage on every single player. Then he switched on to M4162, you know, seal the deal. Now, Nasty, look at that. His position is also nasty. Now, he got stuck behind the rock. Now, the players are being, you know, just staying positive, as well as just keeping the things low. They're still waiting for that perfect opportunity, using those smoke grenades so that they can make an extra cover. But look at that, Roach. They are up against a fight, and one player just hiding on top of that one floor. The third eye, they're doing a lot of job in that one grenade. It was awesome.
It was pretty much awesome, but it is going to be a tough affair for Rogue Nation to actually not let their fleet getting defended. But Admiral is the one that has been finished off, and thanks to the Ballisti's spray that has come in, and that has secured one more kill into the favor. And it's going to just 2 players, Rogue Hitman and the last player surviving in the old smoke clouds. And once the smoke dissipates, I mean, that is limited in number. I mean, you got to have the players getting separated 5 or 6 smokes, but at the end of the day, before that smoke dissipates, it is going to be the gunpowder that will be coming in with the play taking care of the last player. It is going to be an easy affair for Ballisti to get secure the 3 kills at the start of the game. And with that, one more squad has been completely wiped out, and we head towards the 19th minute of the game. It is going to be 130 meter, 180 meter to be more precise, but on the face of it, Hazer has been pulled down.
Yeah, that grenade just bounced from his head, and after that he just got knocked out. Look at that. Now G1, he just hiding behind that one tree. He's just present on the lower side of the mountain and just running for his life right now, because they have to move inside the circle. Both teams have to move inside the circle. NPC on the side that all the 4 players are alive. Just not looking good for Para. And another fight just breaks out. NTD NEPALZ stepping up, but PUBG Minion Esports, they also want revenge. But look at that, the heal. The players have less amount of heal than Magar. Just decided to not going to revive his teammate, just going to focus on the rotation.
Nasty.
But he has only 10% HP, and as I just mentioned, Nasty.
I mean, PUBG Minion Esports were going for those rotations. They were retreating from the fight, but making sure, they should have made sure that it was NTD Nepal gaming that was in the closer proximity. They should have pinned them down, but they didn't do so. And just because of that, now they are traversing with just certain players, and that is not going to be enough for them to get a good hand on the last half of circle. But on to the different side, it is going to be the third eye that are pinning down the players of Vengeance. And in all the situation, it was a retaliation that the third eye was seeking for it. And since it is the case, I guess it is one of the moment that they will be getting a lot of time. But Ixcel again excelling in this match. Team Godfather has been completely thrown through the lobby thanks to the onslaught that has come in, but from different direction. It is going to be NTT Nepal. Now they are pinning down to the players of PUBG Minion Esports, and it is going to be the last player from the team surviving. One more player is in the same vicinity, but to a different direction, and they are miles apart. They are miles apart in all the situation. It is going to be the third eye that is coming in from the south eastern side. All the 4 players alive. They are looking pretty much strong at this moment with 8 kill and the numbers advantage, and with the ridges that they can play,
Yes.
the firepower is certainly going to be massive.
You know what? The players from the Legend Esports, they got stuck in that ridge. Now, Blasty, he needs that one grenade so that he can literally end the show for this one team. But look at that, Trapster. He was cooking up one grenade, but he's received a lot of damage from the sidelines. Now, Blasty just lobbed that one grenade on top of the players of DHA, and Thample, he goes down with that grenade. But Blasty still receiving a lot of damage from the sidelines again. Use some smoke to make an extra cover, but they are focusing on that one single team with the suspension down. On the other side, you camp all skills down, all the spot down to leave one single player. Now, he has very low HP, and what was that? That drop shot was amazing. 6 kill secured by Albacete. Now he just got knocked out, but obviously the revival is going to be the Legend Esports. They got limited at the 10th position. We still have 9 teams left, but the important factor is only 20 players are alive. Fear, all the 4 players are alive from the side of this one team, but still, how they're going to secure the chicken dinner, how they're going to manage to move inside the circle, because the rotations are most important. Assassin revealed his position. Look at that, just brought down to 20% HP. Has 4 first aid kit, had 1 med kit, but still applying some bandages. Wow.
Maybe just saving it for the last part of the game where they might get peppered down with a lot of leads, and because of that, the player really have a good opportunity at this moment to get this converted into a chicken. But it is going to be a planned out approach from the sides of Ixcel, where we can get to see the 4 player to 4 different directions. But Fear10 making sure that they are getting a lot of damage from different directions. It is going to be Fragger number 1 that is getting with the A1 gameplay, and Neil needs the revival. Neil has been the X factor from obviously the team, the Fear10, and they are looking strong at this moment. In all the situation, it is no big team that is still surviving, because it is going to be PUBG Minion that seems that, yep, they have been thrown away from this lobby, and it is not looking good for the rest of the team that are in the top. But a good sign, a good positive sign, a good optimistic sign for the rest of the team to actually make a close in onto the lead that the other teams have actually secured. But in all the situation, it is now a charge that is coming in from the sides of NPC onto the players of Fear10, and from the backhand side, it is going to be Sixth Saga that is still surviving from the backlines. He is slowly and steadily coming in, but the question still remains. The next circle shift, that is going to be the 7th one. Where will it go? Will this be leaving the compound for sure or not? We have to still wait for that. Fear10 are using all the utilities just in order to bring a damage onto the players of NPC, but NPC are pretty much wise. They are not pushing in, because they know once they go in, there will be a certain player that will be taking the TP advantage, and in that situation, they might falter down. So they are taking all the precautions. They are being watchful here, but the Fear10 is also not coming out of the compound. But my question again goes on to the players. The next shift is gonna be the decider whether they have to come. And look at this. Smart was too smart to hear that grenade pin, and since he just heard that sound cue, he quickly changed his position.
Yep, and that's why he's still surviving for another day. Hades on the other side, just hiding behind that Ronnie truck. Beast has an angle, and okay, he has control of this compound, but he got pinched down from 2 different angles. That again, Hades with a drop shot. Well, he continues aggression, and the answer is yes, takes down 2, can secure that 2 kills as well. Fear10 secured 6 kills onto the name Hades on the domination, 3 kills to this particular lad. But you just mentioned this point, that where the circle is going to form. The compound is still inside the circle. NPC, they got eliminated at the 7th position. We still have 6 teams left, but Cosmonaut, that one lad, Plankos, he's still surviving. Oh my god.
Yeah, the Shaka now is spotted down, and Z-Boy again the man of the moment. He did that in the last game of Erangel. It is also one more opportunity for him to get his thing accustomed right. But Fear10, I mean, just think about it. The circle has shifted, but they don't need to shift. It is going to be the third eye that need to completely come out in the open. And in that situation, it is going to be from the left-hand side, that is going to be Team Ixcel, that they will be pushing things apart and ripping things off. And from the compound area side, it is going to be the team, the Fear10, that will not be allowing them any sort of rotation. That will be just not allowed. And for the moment, it is going to be Team Third Eye. They don't have any other option. And just because of that, out of desperation, they are doing so. It is now going to be Alipasti That is the player surviving in the open, and he was just not aware where from he can be peppered down by the bullets. It is going to be the last player surviving from the team of Team Third Eye, and that is going to be Shaka, the last player surviving. But it seems that now Ixcel is also being pinned down as the Fear 10. I guess they have sensed the chicken.
Yep, and you know what? If you have good control of the compound, then you can easily control the fight. I mentioned this thing again and again before the circle formed near the junkyard area, but Cosmonaut on the other side, they got eliminated by the grenade of Z-Boy. Okay, he was the reason why Cosmonaut got eliminated, but still, Hades on a rampage secured 5 kills, 6 cents. They all take an exit at the 4th position. Okay, this is the second time they got eliminated on the 4th position. Third Eye takes an exit at the 3rd position, but 12 kills, that massive. Ixcel, Z-Boy got a revival, still surviving, and now Assassin was providing a lot of cover, but now he goes down, and it is going to be a 1v4 again, Ankit.
Marching, Fear 10 marching onto the player, last player surviving. Can this be one more moment where he can do 1v4? It seems that he can do so. He tried to take one player down, but was just not enough to take the last player down as he got the chicken for himself. It is gonna be one team that really played it to perfection. The team Fear 10 getting that chicken, 13 kills, 2,740 damage. I mean, right off the go on to the first half of the chart. 8th position is where they're standing, a total of 28 points. I mean, what a match. At the end, you just need one chicken with a decent amount of kills, and you are good to go. Straight off the go. I mean, it's really good to be on the first half of the chart.
Yeah, obviously, you're gonna witness and you're gonna feel that confidence if you're on the first page of the leaderboard. But in the overall leaderboard, especially 28 points in the favor of P10, but Ixcel. Oh my god, Ixcel basically. This team is phenomenal. Z-Boy and Assassin. This duel is deadly, but Z-Boy, this man is kind of a one-man army. But, you know, it was again in a 1v4 situation, but at that situation, he was reviving his teammate. That's why he got knocked out and he got finished in the final circle when all the 4 players literally marching in towards him. But this time, this was a different team. But the amazing part is, Cosmonaut finally they secured some amount of placement points this time in the second match of the day.
Exactly, something to take away from this match, especially for Cosmonauts and for some other teams also. And back-to-back, a good performance that is also coming in from different teams that we just talked about. I mean, the Fear 10, the team was not really looking good. They were looking off-colored before this match actually happened. We got to see them in the down half of the chart, on the bottom half of the chart, not in that position. But since this is the moment for them, they are looking good. But for the moment, talking about all these situations, all these things, we are getting to see the MVP, the most valuable player for this match, and that is obviously gonna be the Fear 10's Neil. He is the Neil.
And if we talk about, he dished out approx 1,000 damage, 998 damage in this favor. Neil secured 4 kills. Survival time is obviously it is going to be top notch because they secured the chicken dinner. 3 assists and healing done is 20, almost 219. Again, standard decent amount of healing done by this lad. Now, we talk about the top players from this particular match. Obviously, Albaster, he's going to be there. He's just going to join the fray. 6 kills secured by this lad. Survival time is kind of a little bit less because they got eliminated at 3rd position with 12 kills. And this man has half amount of kills his team secured.
Exactly. I mean, really good performance from their side, but also Hades and fragger number 1 with 5 kills and 3 kills. I mean, a lot of fragging potential that the Fear 10 has brought. From the right of the straight of the go, they were looking pretty strong, and just because of that, they have got a lot of kills. Thus, the 3 guys have gotten 12 total kills, but you need to comment this solo guy, Mugambo. I mean, in also the day 1 performance where they were getting a lot of good total matches. I mean, it was yesterday's gameplay where Mugambo was shining and he was the X factor from all of the teammates. Eventually, the rest of the players were well, but he was the one that really tried to outshow others' performance. And talking about that, we are going to be getting to see the match summary where the complete storyline is being built. Fear Nil getting also the highest number of damage, not only also of the kills. It is going to be obviously the highest damage of 998, and Ali Pasti with the highest kills, as we just talked about that. 6 cents also chiming in, also stepping up with Saga's 251 meter longest distance kill. But I'm not surprised to see 251. It's still pretty much less towards what we get to see, because 320, 330 is the most common one that we get to see in the game of
The
Miramar.
game of Miramar, obviously. In Erangel match, we saw 311 meters longest kill, but we have the match ranking in front of us, 28 points. The name of Fear 10. The third eye secured 22 total points. Ixcel on third position with 15 total points. Look at that. That's how you're going to collect some placement point. They have just only 3 kills, but still 12 placement points will just lead them to the total of 15. Paradox OC heavily relying on kill points have total 5 points in their favor. Straight out of Fiji, after an amazing start, they got stuck as well as they got pinched down in the mid stages of the match. That's why they are at the 10th position with only 3 points. But Rogue Nation and KTM Rage for the second time, they have 0 points.
Indeed it is. Not looking good for them, but the overall rank standing will get a more clear picture of it as we get to see Paradox still right there on the top. They are marching towards the total of a century mark, just 6 short of them. Third Eye just joining them with total of 86 total points, and the point difference between Paradox and Third Eye is now just decreasing, with Third Eye getting one more good game. It was a slip, I would say, for SCL and VS, because we just saw a moment ago it was a team that just was finished off right off the go. It was also Ixcel that got 1 chicken in the name, and because of that they are now the jumping of the green marker shows that just in the last game also they made a forward leap, and also the Fear 10. I mean, 6th game after the end of that they have now found themselves way, but rest of the lobby, I mean in the second half of the chart, we just get to see dip and dip.
You know what, only NPC, they just have that green marker just aligned to their name. Otherwise every single team just drop down to their from the previous look as well as previous ranking basically. But I'm quite happy the way all the teams are playing. But Cosmonauts India, finally a green marker as well. They just on the 18th position with 26 points finally. But again, the kill department is so strong. But Vengeance on the 17th position with total 31 points. KTM Rage, they dropped down to 19th position. Never expected this from their side, but now it's the truth. But have only 25 total points in their favor. But the important factor is they played their 6 matches. They have to do something, Ankit.
I mean, indeed, 100% agreeing with you. 6 matches, still not getting that 6th sense working into the favor. They really need to work hard, because at the end of the day, it is going to be the top 16 that will be aggressing forward. But for the moment, not also looking good for the rest of the lobby as Team Godfather.
What?
Since they tried to make a comeback in yesterday's gameplay, they tried, but till now in the last 2 games, they really have faltered on. 40 placement points, 6 just the kill points, making a total of 20. Still not enough. But at the end of the day, it's not done. I mean, we have 2 more matches left, and we have seen that a lot of teams have actually chimed upon, have actually showcased the performance with just getting 1 chicken. And if 1 chicken, or maybe getting close towards the chicken at 12 placement points or 10, and maybe towards the end, if they get those 6 or 4, 5 kills eventually, maybe those 15 or 18 looking good important points can help them climb that success of ladder.
Yeah, but again, it's a question then how they're gonna manage to do that. Yeah, if you want to be on the top, you have to secure some kills. But I'm quite happy with some teams who are playing so good. But we still have 2 games left for the day.
Definitely, and with that being said, 2 games done for the day. The Erangel and Miramar done, but still we have 2 more action. But it is gonna be on the other side of this back. Be right back.
Here we go now.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to PUBG Mobile Club Open. Of course, it is going to be of the wildcard region, and what a start we have been witnessing since Ixcel have been getting that chicken in the very first game, and this last game itself, they got that second placement point, but then it was Fear 10 getting the better half of it. It was also Assassin and Z-Boy from the sides of Ixcel that really tried to excel the performance and outlast other teams, but was just not enough because we just talk about all the numbers game and the thing that comes into the last circle, but then it was a bonker start from this game. But for the moment, it is seeming like that we will straight away jumping into the third game of the day, and that is going to be of the Erangel with the KTM Rage again. Our TV screens. I really am optimistic. I mean, third time lucky is what I expect for them. Third time lucky.
You know what? Again, a weird playing path we're witnessing, but this time in the Sanhok map, you know, the pace change, it is going to be difficult, Duncan. Why? Because these teams, they just played a match on a Miramar, and we all.
But it was fast-paced.
But yeah, it was fast-paced, but still, like we usually witness some low, like some mid.
Slow approach, yeah,
slow approach as well as some mid-game fights. But that's not the case in Sanhok. We are forced to take some fights, and if you're talking about forced to take some fights, look at that, the eastern side of the map towards Camp Bravo. I can see three teams. Envy is there, T3I is there, and Vengeance is also there. And this is going to be amazing.
I mean, I'm surprised to see no other team apart from some have actually jumped down to their Camp Charlie. And just imagine if the circle tends to go towards the same area where the team have not likened to go towards that side and have really boycotted the Camp Charlie. I mean, ruined Stambang complete right of the go. But it seems that in the area of Camp Bravo, we are heading towards a fight where we get to see two different markers, two colored markers. And also on the backhand side, it is also Vengeance. So third eye pretty much close to where Entity Gaming is there. And a lot of teams to actually talk about. We have got a lot of compounds that they can loot, and since it is going to be 1 minute 35 seconds, that means I mean it's 2 or 3 minutes enough for a team to actually get segregated with the loot. But as soon as we get towards the fight, we are heading towards a bonker of a start as Entity Nepal. The players are taking the position, the players are taking the position, but from the backhand side, it is also going to be Vengeance that are going for the rotations. But since at the early stage of the game, we might get to see the teams maybe falling off, but with the formation that team Third Eye is going on, the Cocktail player is getting a lot of info because he has found himself in the prone position and he is not moving an inch. But onto the other hand side, Cosmonauts India, Jin has spotted on the open there, and bad boy, oh boy, he has fallen down as we get to see the early knock. Will it be enough for him to convert into a kill? We have to still wait for that, as now the QBZ action comes into play. I mean, whenever we get to see the game of Sanhok, this QBZ comes into action, but players really do rely upon the 5.56 bullets, M416, and also the Scorals. But one more player going down also from the sides of Entity Nepal. So right off the bat, right off the go, a lot of ruckus, a lot of chaos has been created as the custom suggests, as the practice has been done. It is going to be Cosmonaut India that is trying to charge down to that onto the Entity Nepal's team. It is going to be two players in the same vicinity. One player that is given the revival, he is surviving a sliver of an HP, and one player from the Cosmonaut side, that is going to be Suvu, that is charging him. It is just going to be one bullet enough for him to take him down too.
You know what? One grenade can do the job as well now. Okay, just lobbed out one grenade to finish things off, but he dished out a lot of damage. Subu, which is waiting for the backup now, slowly steadily closing in the distance. On the other side, Entity Nepal, things are not looking good for them, but Cocktail somehow managed to knock down Trapster. But look at that instant kill confirmation of Nasty. Cocktail, he just got Vincent down, and he just got cornered down in a corner. Mugambo, the kill has been confirmed. Cocktail, I think so, he's the final player surviving from the side of Entity Nepal. But what? They're not aggressing towards that one single player. Cocktail just trying to collect some information from that window. Suvu on the other side again on this fight. Jin has been compromised. Albas is slowly moving in towards him, and Cocktail just barely surviving on 40% HP. But Sora from the side of the Third Eye takes down one player of Cosmonaut India. Cocktail was barely surviving on 10% HP, and yup, Entity Nepal. This is the first team who takes an exit in the Sanhok map without securing a single kill.
Sad.
a point,
Sad
basically.
for them. I mean, Entity Nepal, the team that was really looking good before the start of the day. 2 games. I mean, not much of point that they have been securing from these 2 matches, but certainly whenever these off-map comes in, whenever these randoms that comes in,
Yeah.
I mean, these sort of circles we get to see. But if the observers are listening to us, I really want to see the map where it's actually panned out, because till now we haven't seen the map, and if we get to see, then we can more predict and preempt what sort of competition is lying far ahead. But for the moment, it's still not the map. I really want to see the map. If you're there, please listen to us.
Yeah, you know what? Come on. We are just requesting you this. But obviously, we are witnessing a great fight. Cosmonauts India finally up for a good start. Secure 3 kills without losing a single player. And that is the best point. Come on, it is going to be the headlines for now. And now, they are inside the circle, I think so. The first zone is also closing in. But the third eye, I just want to mention about this team because they are on the 2nd position of the overall ranking without securing a single chicken dinner. Now, this is the way that's how the word consistency describes. Like, they are being consistent.
They're synonymous
that's
to consistency.
Oh yeah, they're synonymous.
If you talk about the epitome, and there we go. Thank you
very much.
from that side. We
I'll
have
get this
got
happy now.
that map that we just talked about, and seeing that it is a complete shift onto the camp Bravo Island and most of the team. Since we were talking about just imagine a circle going down towards the area of Camp Charlie, but since that hasn't happened, that means the decision that I was personally questioned is now being answered by most of the team, as now Fear 10 is also trying to make an entry from the Hatin area. The bridge is pretty much clear, but look at the split from the sides of Paradox. The 2 game that we talk about has certainly gone to the favor, because Paradox is a team, whenever they come into the game, it was a time where they were getting back-to-back chicken, and I guess this is one fine game there they must be eyeing upon to get that chicken into the favor. We have to still wait for that, because at the end of the day, it is the gameplay that will be getting the chicken. It's not the blabbering that we are doing, but the airdrop one. We talk about this AUG. I mean, how do you use it, this AUG?
The luxurious weapon. You know what? I'll still prefer this AUG on QBZ because we all know that the damage is gonna insane, but the recoil as well. But still, player prefer M416. But we saw the Jin just moving towards that first airdrop, and he will enjoy that luxurious weapon as well as the level 3 kit inside the airdrop. But we can see a lot of team present towards the northern side of the quarry. Now, if I'm gonna predict where the final circle is just gonna form, I think so. Just gonna form towards the south side of Paradise Resort or towards the western side of Bhan. Let's see if my prediction is right or wrong. Otherwise, Ocean's just gonna teach me some more skills how to predict circle.
I guess you might be pretty much strong with these predictions coming in, because till now what we have seen, these sort of hybrid circles in this, especially this wildcard region, has tended to go on to the western side of Bhan and between that Paradise Resort distance and Bhan region. And in yesterday's game also, it was the western side of Bhan where we got to see the circle shift getting into the fray. And if that happens, then again it is going to be the teams like Ixcel that have excelled till now will be getting the favor of it. Teams like TGF, the Godfather, that really need all those points because they are on the 3rd half of the chart. If you remember, just a total of 20 points and standing on the 25th or 26th position on the 4th half of the chart. The Godfather I'm talking about. And then it is going to be obviously PUBG Minion. So a lot of teams that are also predicting and preempting, but in all these situations it is going to be 1+ in the name of Assassin. That means that they now are taking the fight. And I'm really waiting to see, is it Paradox that are actually pinning them down, or is it some different teams? But as we're talking about all these predictions and all these rotations, it is also going to be one team. SCL envious. The envious thing that they bring in. I mean, there's a lot of, you need to be jealous about all the players and all the teams. If they are getting away with a lot of points, this is one team that really come in with a hitting hard approach and tried to take a toll in the last game also, but was just a little bit in the early stage of the game. One circle shift, since it's a central one, that means one next shift might be that extreme one, might tend to go towards the area of southern side of Bhan, trying to go away from the area of Paradise Resort and away from boot camp. In that situation, if that happens, it is going to be Ixcel again that will be getting the favor. We have to still wait for that. But as we're talking about, it is now going to be from the northern side, KTM coming in and Fear coming in. And since they are pretty much close in the same proximity, we might expect some skirmishes between them.
You know what? Neil is the only person who is pretty close to the players of KTM. Now, look at the distance. It's very close. But I love the way how they're approaching towards the circle. And KTM, I think so. It seems like they just want to engage in some fights. But you can never underestimate a team who has that height advantage, or they just camouflaged in these grasslands. Okay, I was just spoke to soon. Neil just takes down Manish from the side of KTM and flank cost. This man is deadly because he was so consistent, and he just do that scouting part for his team. The kill has been confirmed.
Wow, I told you.
Yeah,
I told you
about this, and I was just just about to say this, that this skirmish, it is going to be interesting, but moving inside the circle, it's more important.
And doing so, it is going to be Fear 10 Neil that is leading the charge. And if you have a closer look at it, I mean, in the last game also, it was Neil that was getting a lot of fame. I mean,
yes.
The observers are also cherishing upon this player, and so has this lad's performance. And it ought to be. Out of the total kills secured, it is going to be Neil that has secured and got the bank accounts open for them. So it's bound to happen for them. But now the gameplay with which the Neil comes in, I mean, he's the one that leads the charge. He was holding that vehicle, if you remember, the motorcycle that he just stepped off. He just stepped off because he made sure that once he's making entry into zone, because the Sanhok, the closer proximity, the sand situation, a lot of sound cues gets taken away, and just because of that, this guy is just phenomenally strong, and he's scouting down the area. He's scouting on every other area, every other degree, all the stream corners, and then it will be all a safe passage for the rest of the team to come into the zone. But for the moment, it is obviously going to be Cosmonauts Blancos, the player that got eliminated in the last game at the very early stage of the game, is the one that is also charging in at this moment. And at every team, we are getting to see one player at least that goes for the flank angle, or those small little huts, or all those extreme angles from where they can actually surprise the enemy. This time it is gonna be Suwu. Just imagine one fine player coming in the same direction and just getting things off done for them. But it seems for the moment Rosa into action.
Yeah, with a suppressor as well, and we all know this is going to be the deadliest weapon in the Sanhok, because we always, expect some players just got prone down, and they are going to be the venomous snake present in the vicinity. But if we talk about the Legend Esports, they are on the 12th position, in fact, with only 40 points in their backpack at times. But they secure 21 kills. Their average damage is still, kind of soothing, 677. But if we're going to compare it with Paradox, look at that. Approx 1400 average damage. This team almost takes down 7 players in one match. They have 47 total points, just 6 points far behind, just hitting that 3-digit marker. Now, Paradox Wiz, I just mentioned everything about him, that he always do the scout, and he always go for the scout as well as collect a lot of information, spot down one player. But the good thing is he has that cover, because he was really not damage. But now, look at that. NPC, they're playing on the edge of the circle.
Paradise Resort is where they are positioned, and it is bound that the circle might go away, but no. Paradise Resort, half of the complete area is still into the zone, and circle is still not playing notoriously, and I'm really not happy because I really wanted to see the bloodbath, the bloodshed. That's still not happening in the case. Some early skirmishes was there. If we just talk about the Camp Bravo fight, where it was one team that just got Entity Nepal, it was one team that just got finished in the same position. But then it has been an all truce and all peaceful settlement, as now we are heading towards the mid to the last stage of the game. And in doing so, it is going to be the Legend Esports. The player are moving slowly and steadily, and they are pretty much close to them. But the moment I said, it is going to be the third eye that is trying to create the ruckus in this lobby.
Yeah, Cosmonauts, they were on the receiving end, and that's why one of their players just got knocked out. But look at the position of 6 Cents. They are playing on the southern side of the map, and it's possible that they got pinched down. If we're talking about pinched down, Vengeance secured 1 kill. RC is just going to secure that 1 kill, being a little bit over-aggressive. Sometimes it is going to cost you a lot, because Neil, look at that. He's just speaking from the same angle, and he just makes sure that his teammate will stay alive for a little bit more long. But that grenade was lobbed so that he can confirm that kill, but no, that was not the case. Neil is still there, but where is the backup? And if we talk about backup, look at that. One player just approaching from the eastern side, from the side of Fear 10, but he is a little bit slow because, Lord, he is just bleeding out. And yeah, the kill has been confirmed by Ashish.
Future looks dark. The future looks dark
Kind
for
of.
him, and he has been sent to the lobby as now Vengeance. The two players are looking strong at this moment with Sam and Ashish going on to the players of Fear. It is looking strong at this moment, but it seems that he is in animation, and that animation can bring that one speed knock. He lobbed that grenade, but that grenade just bounced away, and just because of that, he secured a lot of damage. It was 60
What?
HP before that. It was one grenade that was lobbed in, but 3 grenades back to back. That means a lot of utilities being used, and that's what brings an important team, a big player into the frame, but onto different directions. It is going to be Feriwala from the sides of SCL NVS. Now the team again is trying to make a comeback. Can this be a moment where they can actually shine upon and try to outshine the player? It is going to be one thing, but for the moment it is going to be Vengeance that are going to be completely pinned down.
Oh,
And
no.
there we go. Hades bring one knock with the help of that utilities. Molotov is really one of the most effective one to use in the situation, and in all these things it is going to be the last player. Watch your back, watch your back, watch your back, watch your back. He watched his back before he was taken down, as now Vengeance has been also eliminated.
That was a prone shot by Hades, and look at that reaction.
Reflexes, I mean,
Yeah,
that was
in fact,
insanely
reflexes were
meticulously performed.
insane, and you know what? That's why they won that fight. But if we're talking about winning a fight, that's not the case for Sixens, because one player clears. He just got knocked out a little bit far away from the teammates against the players of SOF, set out of Fiji. Now, I just want to mention one thing, and that is Sam. He received a lot of damage from the grenade, but it was a Molotov, so that he can the players from the side of third eye, they can find an opening, and that's why they just rush onto the players of Vengeance. Now, Josh, he has an M416 with the 4 times, again, one of the best combination you can use. Saga, he's just hiding behind that fence.
It clears. I mean, the future looks too bleak for him again. I mean, he's completely away from the situation, and there we go. Shivansh, the shift that we're talking about. Paradox in the center lines of the circle. The compounds, the ridges that they're holding for the moment, because that's where the team actually shines upon. It is going to be one game that Paradox was really looking up to. The lead was already there, that we just got to see. The 6th shy of the complete century. 96 before the start of the match they were standing, and if they get a lot of kill in this match, maybe a chicken that will be getting secured the lead, the cementing position that we just talked about. But the moment all these circle have shifted, it is also going to be Sixth Sense that need to make a rotation. So now looking at the minimap, there's not a lot of route that they can actually think about. But talking about that, on the southern edge of the circle, it is going to be SCL NVS that has just eliminated one team, and Team Godfather. I mean, nothing is looking good for them. Not the fight, not the formation. Even if they are trying to go for the fight, it is just that the gunpowder in which they are perishing. It is also the formation. I mean, no sort of strategies are being used. And in this lobby, man, this is the competitive sort of lobby. It's end of the day, it's the club open. The wildcard region just cannot falter down this way. I mean, the players are losing opportunity, but nothing to worry about. There is one more game, and we have seen in the past, it's just one chicken where the team and the players are away for getting in the top 16. At the end of the day, they are going to be the qualifying, but it's going to be Rogue Nation. Zeus that is trying to pin them down. UZ comes into action as Smart has now been outplayed with the TPP angle that he was trying to take. A big rock has actually resulted him in segmenting one knock and one finish, and smartly falling things into the back, and 303 meter is not going to be disaster as it resulted a lot of bullets from the backhand side, and it is going to be Cosmonauts try to take him down. Will he be able to do so? We have to still wait for that.
We certainly have to still wait for that, but look at that. Para on the other side stepping up, but they are up against the players of third eye, and they are retaliating back. In Cosmonauts India, they take an exit at the 13th position. They are going to secure only 3 total points, and those are only 3 kill points. But look at that. Frenzy on this other side, from the side of Sixth Sense, he got stuck and he got knocked out. But Smith, PUBG Minion Esports, that grenade a little bit so far away.
And also on different directions.
Yeah, also on a
that
different
means Smith doesn't know the exact position where SCL and NVS are actually positioned onto the other hand side. It is gonna be SCL. The players are charging in. All the 3 players trying to engulf, but still not. They are also wary about the exact position where Smith Hope is actually hiding himself into. And at any point, at any moment, since now he has spotted down the players, he fired, but in different directions. And doing so, he has not only just got his location revealed, sadly, he will be taken down. As the last player surviving, he will be taken care of as SCL and VS, they are marching into the zone. 8 kills already onto the name, and out of that, Shafi this time is the one that is really stepping up. Fediwala needs the revival, but it seems that the team will be abandoning him as the zone is going to give a detrimental amount of damage. As the players are going to zone, it is going to be 6 cents that are going to pin down Rogue Nation. Need to talk about this team.
They have only 4 kills and only 2 players are surviving from the side of this particular team. But the third eye, they are waiting for that one single team, and that is going to be Para. They have to be careful, and while they're just moving inside the circle, they have to engage in a fight because, as I just mentioned, the third eye. But Rogue Nation, look at that. As I just mentioned, we have to talk about this. But Tequila, he goes down by the play zone. Hades is on domination secure. 3 kills. Para stepping up. 6 since they take an exit at the 11th position. We still have 10 teams alive. 32 players are there. Huzza spots down 1 player so far away. Connected only 1 bullet. But Goku will live another day. But just after that spray, Para, the players all just compromise their position. That's why they are receiving some amount of damage. KTM Susan is stepping up, takes down 2 players of NPC. In fact, this lad eliminated the whole team of NPC, but Fear, they are there for the third party. And after that amazing fight from the side of KTM, they are now struggling because Fear, they just pincered them down and dished out a lot of damage. Para versus Ixcel.
Out in the open, the players are going for the rotation, and just because of that, they have been caught down. G1 brings the knock, the initial knock that they were looking up to, and this is going to be an easy 4 pick and choose kill. But since the players are going for the edge approaches, maybe they might to fall themselves in a retreat position where they might not go for the kill, but the players from the side of Ixcel are completely being pinned down. An onslaught has been brought down, and in what I can see by the looks of it, it is going to be Paradox that are in the commanding position with Heather trying to spot on the player. It is going to be Neil number 1, Neil 101 that will be taken care of as he has now fallen down, and in doing so, it is also one player from the sides of obviously Paradox that has fallen down. But in all this situation, it is also not looking good for the legends of esports, the team that have looked pretty much strong, pretty much capable in taking the gunfight. They have been looking sublime in yesterday's gameplay, have been sadly brought down to 2 players.
Oh, wow, Kapil, look at that, heating up the situation for Rogue, and now 7, he's surviving, he's just still prone down in the same position. Paradox on the other side stepping up, they have the height advantage, it's still secure, only 4 kills, but they have to move inside the circle, 70 meters far away as I just mentioned earlier. Third eye, they are waiting for this team, and look at that. They received a lot of damage, Biz, as
Not
well as
going to be an easy thing.
Now Basti just going to spot out G1, just going to knock him down, and now El Basti just going to do the same thing. 2 is, no, that's not the case. It's just driving a scooter in this circle. This is
One
the same
more.
circle. Another, but this was a motorcycle. El Basti received a lot of damage, but at the end he knocked out 1 player. He heard the sound of that grenade a bit slow, and that's why he got knocked out.
Wiz came so close to that compound that he lobbed in a grenade, and just because of that, he has now fallen down. Now it is all down to the 2 players surviving with quick bleeding out. It is Wiz and it is Hazer that is surviving on a sliver of an HP. They just have 1 first hit for the moment, so not the best of the loot as we talk about. But in all this situation, it is also going to be the team third eye that we need to have a look upon. That 5 kills already on the name, and they are holding 3-4 different compounds that we just talked about. And in all this fight, it is going to be also straight out of Fiji that have 4 kills, and they are on the southern side of the circle. But it's bound to happen that once the circle shifts, the circle will tend to go away, maybe find in the safe haven where the compounds are actually positioned. And if that happens, it is going to be the third eye that will be getting the better half of all this situation. It is going to be the last player survivor for the side of team the Paradox. That is going to be Wiz. 1 player from the side of KTM, that is going to be Sujan, and a 4v4 affair between SOF and obviously the third eye. But third eye certainly in a commanding position.
For sure, because they have the control of this compound, as I just mentioned it earlier. Trapster is just going to end the story for Sujan. KTM Rage takes an exit at the 4th. But Goku, he received a lot of damage from the side of straight out of Fiji. He goes down. Kario on the other side also received a lot of damage. Suran from the side of third eye. Look at this man. He is looking unstoppable. 2 kills. He has only 11 1 west, but he's still looking unstoppable. Now, things are not looking that good for straight out of Fiji because they are 30 meters far away from the safe zone, and 1 single player just literally pins them down. In fact, 2 El Basti.
Kill stolen!
Oh no, by Wiz. Paradox up for a revenge.
They must be angry, they must be furious, as now it is gonna be not an easy task for straight out of Fuji. Trying to run out in the open, they will be taken care of as now stolen slowly the players are going down, and in a sudden, in
Third
a
eye.
while, it is gonna be the third eye getting the chicken of the day. I told you that the third eye really have a good gun power, and when it comes to the game of Sanhok, I mean, the team really did have a good point, and 2048 damage, and where they are standing, they're at the first position.
Finally,
Just passing Paradox,
Yep.
just passing everything. 27 total points, and this damage, especially in the game of Sanhok, I mean, how often do we get to see 2,448? I mean, this is a stat where if I'm told to, I would believe if it was in Erangel on Miramar, but certainly not Sanhok. If it is there, that means the team really have done it pretty well.
And the interesting part is we still have one game left and their momentum is looking so good. We can see the rhythmic gameplay from the side of Third Eye, but the way they control a compound and the way they, literally dish out a lot of damage while holding an area, that's the point we have, that's the most amazing part from the side of this team. But now, one thing, Paradox, they just slipped down to the second position, and for sure, they're not happy with this.
I mean, Paradox days really started pretty well in the number.
Yep.
It was just the 96 point before the start of the match, and I really expected them to hit the chicken to that 100,000, 100 marker.
Points. Yeah.
Obviously, the century marker. But since they did falter down, it seems that it is going to be, and not seemingly, was the team Third Eye that just got the better half of that match. But call for that MVP has come in, and it is going to be Al-Basti from sides of Third Eye, getting 4 kills, 943 damage, healing done 137, and assist. Look at that number. That bar is completely being filled. 5 is what they stand at this moment, and this is what a complete gameplay brings us for.
22 minutes, 20 seconds, survival time. Let's talk about the top players. So we have Al-Basti, obviously, who was the MVP, but I literally liked it. Neil secured 2 kills, he dished out 677 damage, but Wiz secured only 1 kill, but look at that. 910
Wow.
damage, it's insane.
I mean, Paradox, I mean, Wiz, I guess he was the last player standing from his side behind that rock when even the
Behind
3
the
players
tree.
was, exactly, it was a tree. To be more precise, he was hiding themselves in safe situations, and just because of that, 910 damage, that's a massive one. But obviously, the Ballisti from the sides of Team Third Eye gets himself again in that 5 maximum assist list, and a lot of players coming in from the sides of Team Third Eye as we just get to see, obviously, in the longest distance kill. Obviously, in the highest damage, that means a gameplay that was being completely dominated as a whole by a team, not by a single player, because Darksyde is also in that longest kill distance, Daddy.
202. And you know what? Al-Basti has highest skill, highest damage, highest assist. But let's talk about the match ranking. 27 points in the favor of Third Eye. Paradox OCE not that far behind, secured 16 points. And that's again interesting. 11 points far behind from the first position. If we talk about the match ranking, straight out of Fiji, an amazing outing from the side of this particular team. They are at the third position with total 16 points. KTM Rage finally stepping up. I am very happy, Ankit, because they are at the 5th position with 11 points. Finally, I can see a green marker for sure in the overall ranking from the side of KTM Rage, but the Fear, who secured second in the previous match, now they are at the 8th position with total 6 points.
Maybe that is going to be the case, but straight out of Fiji, SOF, the team really have now made a comeback, because slowly and steadily, apart from the day 1 performance, the last 3 games and also the last game of the day 1, if you remember, they really had a downward dip. And since this was a game where they actually got a decent amount of points, the average was really good. They're looking good at the moment. PUBG Minion Esports, again a big faltering down, and Ixcel. I mean, how often have we seen a team that have got good games in the early 2 stages of the game did falter down, and just because of that we got to see them slipping down. But now the overall is changing as fast as it can. Third Eye getting on the first position with a total of 113, and in this match eventually 2 teams cross the century mark, with Paradox at the 110 position. Just the 3-point lead is where the team Third Eye is standing at this moment, and certainly it is going to be helping them.
Yeah, the point of relief for KTM Rage, stepping up and climbing up the ladder on the 14th position with 36 points. But you can never miss this team, the Legend Esports. They have a chicken dinner in their favor, but still on the 11th position with 48 points. Now we can see Ixcel also stepping up, climbing up the ladder, 20th position, 27 points. But look at that. If we talk about the kill points, it's decent, but they are heavily dependent on those placement points. That's not the case for Cosmonauts India. 9 placement points, single-digit placement point, and 20 kill points.
Not working for them.
Not
Not working for them, certainly in
but
terms of
still.
placement point. But still, as you just mentioned, 20 kill is what you really need at this moment. But certainly not working in terms of placement points, and they really need to work hard because better you do it rather than to bang your head at the end of the day and try to miss out these opportunities, because these are the lifetime opportunities, I guess. Because at the end of the day, these are the PMCO that are playing, but Godfather, they are just not able to come out of that 26th position. This is also sort of consistency, but certainly not the sort of consistency that the team and the fans want. Team Godfather, 7 matches, 20 points. The consistency is pretty much the same, because in this match also, I guess they were not able to secure at least maybe 1 or even 2 points, and this is not helping their course. As we get to see, the team is on this 4th half of the chart. The matches are increasing, but the performance is certainly not up to that mark.
Yep, I totally agree with that point, Ankit, and you just mentioned it earlier. While they were engaging in a fight, they lack in the gunpowder, as well as their split never worked out in their favor. Let's see, we still have 1 game left for the day. Let's see how they are going to perform today.
And exactly, with the 3 games done for the day, we have seen a lot of action, 1v3, 1v4, and this last game also, it was Team Third Eye getting a lot of fragging in this match. But we are not yet done, as we will be heading towards the last game of Erangel, but on the other side of this break.
Here we go now.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to PUBG Mobile Club Open. Of course, it is going to be the wildcard region, and this time again, it is going to be Shivan joining me alongside with me. And what a start it has been! We just saw three games back to back: Erangel, then Miramar, and Sanhok, where the teams have looked stormingly well. It was Ixcel that got the chicken, and then the second finish in that game of Erangel. But then it was Team Third Eye that tried to make a comeback. Paradox was also in the same fray, but it was not easy for them. If you remember that ridge, that hold up for the Sanhok angle, once the circle just tended to shift away. I was talking about that. The team that will be getting the better half of the compound. Fortunately, it was a time where Team Third Eye, all the four compounds was in the circle, and it was an all easy for them as they sealed the deal.
It was the same case in Miramar as well, because the team who was holding that compound, like, obviously, if the circle is inside, it's just favoring that compound, and if you're holding that compound, then the chances are pretty high that you're going to win the chicken dinner. But the point is, Ankit, sometimes holding a compound while staying inside circle, it is going to be a difficult part because you have a lot of pressure on your shoulders.
Exactly. But for the moment, the head-to-head 1v1, if we see the team, it is going to be the Paradox versus the Third Eye, the team on the first and the team on the second. We get to see one chicken is what the Third Eye has been able to secure, and not a lot of difference. Just the Third Eye, as just mentioned before going on to the break, and we get to see 52 kills, 53 kills shared, but damage dealt is where Paradox is certainly overpowering the Third Eye. Damage received is also where it is not the case where Third Eye would have liked to be on the receiving end, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's not what you like, it's what you actually maneuver, it's what you actually do, it's what you actually perform in this match.
Yeah, but I have one point I just want to mention. As you just mentioned, Ankit, that Paradox, they are leading the damage dealt chart, but the damage to kill conversion is not that good as we can see from the side of the Third Eye. Despite of the fact they dished out less amount of damage, but they still secure a good amount of kills.
Indeed it is, but it seems that the fights are looking good at this moment as, the things are looking good at this moment.
Certainly, they are looking pretty good, but let's have a look at the schedule. Basically, how the things panned out. First Erangel, it was in the favor of Ixcel, then Fear takes a chicken dinner in the Miramar, then the Third Eye, they secure a chicken dinner in the Sanhok map, but this is going to be the fourth match, and it is going to be Erangel, and I'm eagerly waiting when it's going to start.
Exactly, the last game of the day of the Erangel, I mean Group A and D, right off the go. We have got a lot of actions coming, and if we head towards the last game of the day, it is going to be Erangel, and again a flight path that we sort of see in the first game itself. I mean, it is reiterating, it is emulating in its own way as we get to see the flight path starting things off from the western side, and it still remains on the sort of western side of Military Base Island.
Yeah, what do you think, Ankit? We are going to witness the same circle we witnessed in the first Erangel, because kind of the plane path is similar, but still, I think so. It is not going to happen, but you know, it's PUBG Mobile. Anything can happen. PUBG gods, they can do whatever they want, and I like those, circle shift, and the final circle shift was always crazy.
Yeah. I mean, those randomness that the game brings in with the players dropping out. I would really like to see where the circle is actually figuring in. And this time, I would be fortunate enough from the observer side if I will get to see the circle at the very start of the game. Because the last time itself, it was 3 minutes when we get to see the circle. And I was really hanged about it. But for the moment, it is going to be again Team Third Eye. Since they are pretty much in the closer vicinity, I see one more orange parachute. And this time, that orange is that sixth sense again and again. And right off the bat, it seems that the fight is actually happening, and the plus sign in scene of Cosmonauts India, certainly not the start, but certainly the start. Ixcel, what that drop shot comes in. Drop shot comes in, takes one knock, not only the knock, the finish itself.
Z-Boy, look at that.
What was that shot all about?
You know what? It was just all how you're going to react to a fight. The good thing is he has a vest. That's why he won that fight. Despite of the fact he's just barely surviving on pixel HP, but he has to be, careful, because right now
seems that he has used that maybe that painkiller or that ring, and that has certainly helped. And he's surviving. Not even I can just see that. I'm getting close to the screen. Still not able to figure
specs. Come on, Ankit.
I mean, spec is not just enough to get close to where what sort of HP is holding. Is it 1? Is it 0.5? What sort of, maths,
my maths
talk to Ocean.
Bad, I just scored very... But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the situation Cosmonauts are going through, because Beast OP, he also on very low HP, and he's surviving on an open area. Subu, this lad is amazing. If it just come down to a 1v1 duel, this man is lethal, but right now he's also on the same HP Beast was surviving. Now, we can see not a single team dropped out to the Pochinki area. Before this match, because basically in the first Erangel, we saw 3 teams in the Pochinki area. Now, not a single team just dropped out. Every single team just changed their top location. That's why they are suffering. Ixcel, Z-Boy, this player secured 2 kills in a very early stage. Literally, we just hit the 3-minute mark and he secured 2 kills. Now, they have to move 1,000 meters far away. Basically, they're just 1,000 meters far away from the circle. LMVP, I think so. It seems like he knows that where the player is. It seems like he knows the position, but still, he's just backing off so that he can be on the safer side. Yeah.
Don't tell me it's the Zerki area where the fight is actually erupting, and that is going to be the fascinating moment as we get to see towards the fight. But one more fight is also erupting into the area of Team Third Eye, and yes, some really fascinating gameplay coming in from the side of Team Third Eye, where they have lost 1 player and they are now to ping down the players of PUBG Minion. 1 player is already gone down. Player is in that revival mode. He was trying to reload it, but as soon as he jumped down towards the area of that window, he was found in that vault position. In that animation, he has been pulled down, as now Shaka is now slowly and steadily marching towards the way of PUBG Minion. It is going to be a day end for PUBG Minion for sure, as the way the Third Eye is going, sure, it is going to be a big and a massive retaliation. I take back my words where I was just about to say, I just said it may be a day end, but certainly at any point, at any moment, 1 team can go down. Trapstar survives. For a moment, I really lost hope, as I just thought he might have been pulled down, but certainly it is going to be the last player surviving from the side of PUBG Minion onto the different area of the C building. But one thing is for sure, Oho and Maga or Rop will be just finished off, and this will bring down to the only player surviving certainly one more big upset for PUBG Minion. And talking about that, yes, it was the area of Zerki where we're getting to see the fight. And thank you, observers, for bringing the map for us as we get to see the Western dominated flight path. And in all these situations, it is going to be the team TGF. And the circle, if the sort of circle tends to shift towards on the northern side of Query or on the western side of Gatka or the Gatka main city. Look at the positioning of TGF, Shivansh. I mean, this time they need to dominate. They need to dominate.
Because, you know what, they are at the 4th position. They are at the 4th page of the leaderboard and they played 7 matches. So, you expect a lot from this team. Now, Subu, his position has been compromised and he got punished. And now, he got killed as well. Now, from the side of Cosmonauts India, only 1 single player surviving, and it is going to be Beast, and he's moving inside the circle, and he's going to cross path with Rude, and Rude basically, Hitman is present on the North Georgepur city, right? So this rotation, it's going to play a pivotal role in how much points Cosmonauts India will secure. But look at that, bridge camp by the players
KTM.
of KTM.
Yep. It is, and again, Ixcel's players are indulging themselves into fight. That means the fight is yet not over between them, as we still get to see 1 player is surviving from the side of Cosmonauts India, and that is going to be Beast OP. I'm just waiting when that final lead is put in that coffin, and that will bring down the complete team from this match, and it will be tata bye-bye for the whole team for this match. But for the moment, it is the KTM team that we were expecting and preempting for them to bridge camp the situation, but realizing the sense and sensing the gravitas of the situation, they are now falling back and just trying to get control of the churches closer towards the area of Novorupnoy Bridge, where we get to see a lot of hill is where they can play for the moment. It is also going to be Rogue Nation in the northern side of Georgepur.
Yep, and you know what? They have some good loot. Look at that, Zeus. He has a level 3 bag with the level 2 kit and level 2 helmet and a vest. So, yeah, he's just having some good time out here. Now, I just want to talk about Vengeance. They just dropped down near the Severny area and they are almost 1,000 meters far away from the safe zone. So if they will decide that they are going to move inside the circle, so the journey is not going to be that easy. Why I'm saying this? Because we can see a lot of team present towards the Rozhok area. Now, 6 Sense, Eclairs, spots down the players which is in front of him. Tampnai on the other side, he compromised his position. 6 Sense Eclairs has a Scarl with the 6x as well as an Ump, and we all know this combination is in the meta. Now, the team already left the compound, so this is, or maybe this could be the we can say this could be the good chance for Six Sense to hold in that compound, and then they can just move towards a safer compound inside the circle. Now, Frenzy and Eclairs, both players are pretty close to each other, and we all know Frenzy, he is always the MVP. If he stay alive for the longest, then there are a lot of hopes alive for Six Sense as well.
Yeah, indeed. But certainly a day that has not gone in the favor of Six Sense, a team that really showed the prowess, that really showed the promising start that they had in the early stage of the game. I mean, I really like that that you just did. I mean, for one more time.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know how to do it, but like, it's just...
but yeah, certainly the way the team actually need to go into the favor. And the teams are looking strong at this moment. Talk about Sixth Sense. They were noting down the rotations duly. If you just saw the players, when they just left the compound, they were just not in a rush to get hold of that. Rather, they were trying to play all the ridges, all the shacks that was getting into the favor. But since it's a western shift, all the teams are finding and migrating themselves in the same area, as now NPC is also duly noting the rotation of Entity Nepal, and this is one team that really had a good chance at the rest of the gameplay. But for the moment, it is one team that is spotting down the McLaren, that beautiful McLaren. Does it deserve all these bullets? Does it deserve all these bullets? As now, Rage is trying to pepper down the bullets, but still not giving enough of sound cues, as he is not only just doing so, but letting that information passed on to the other players from his own teammates. But for the moment, it is a complete settlement, a truce, apart from those early jitters that were brought down from the area of Zarki. It's a peace. It's a complete peace.
It's complete peace. Not a single player firing a single bullet. But look at that. Okay, so Rage, he has an M416 with an AKM, and there's one AKM attached, there's one suppressor basically attached to that AKM. So suppress AKM again, if you're going to use it perfectly, then yep, it is the best combination. But look at that. Six Sense, they spots down the players, and Smith OP, he's the final player surviving from the side of PMEX. Now, he's just rotating from the same area. Six Sense was holding. Now, I think so, they were firing some shots. It was Rage spots down the players of NTD Nepal, tried his level best to dish out some damage, but unable to connect single bullet. Now, they compromised their position, and now they're going to hold this combination of position for a little bit more long, until unless the zone takes a creative, or we can say a disastrous shift.
Maybe that can certainly be the case. And since the circle has gone for the shift, I would now again ask the observers to show us, as I would love to then see where the circle has actually panned out, because in all these circles it becomes important to see whether the circle has actually panned out on the western side of Gatka or maybe the northern side of Gatka, and then we can actually preempt. But talking about all these, the red smokes gives you one more vision to see this beautiful oceanic region, all the shining things, and in that we have Marksman 14.
MK14, you can use it in close range. This is beast, as well as in long range fight with a level 3 kit, but I don't think so any player would love to go to that position. Or
I mean, do you know how to swim?
Yeah, I know, bro, in real life as well. Yeah.
Are you a swimmer?
I am
trying to be a Michael Phelps, right?
No, I'm not like him, because he is, like, we can say the best, but let's
you know, the funny part of the game is, but even if you don't know how to swim, you can still be in the water.
Okay, let's focus on this, because Tequila, he's just losing his life, and I'm just fed up. I used to crack a lot of peaches. Now it's Ankit, and now I know how it feels when you crack a peach and it is worse. But I literally love that.
I may need to learn something for you. I mean, not a lot, but still all these
things. So you want that I'm going to crack some joke? Just wait for it.
No, please don't do so. Please.
On the trenches. And this is going to be an interesting fight, because Entity Nepal, they found an opening.
Yeah. They are trying to. To. The player are in that sliver of an HP from different directions, and now Entity Nepal, they are still waiting to go for that opening, as now Six Sense players have now getting the better half of it, as Tequila has now been abandoned, and there was no other option the player could have gotten the revival, because there is a trench of which Six Sense players are getting hold of it, and for any moment if they try to go away from that situation, even if they try to go and loot those things, it is going to be a day end, as Mogambo from that side is now creating that flank angle and trying to backstab the situation. But Saga is the better player here, is the most wise player here, and he has known all these sound cues, and since he knows it, he is making sure that he is where he's going towards the place. He will be dodging all this, but no! Still surviving on 20 of an HP. It will be a tough task for the teams, as now Entity Gaming is completely engulfing this radar, it's completely engulfing this sewer areas, and it is just a moment of a time where it will complete squad wipeout, as Eclairs is the last
Yup. As well as Entity Nepal, two players, I think so. In fact, only one player just got knocked out. As just mentioned, this is going to be the end game for Sixth Sense. Eclairs just present on the back lines, present on the trenches, and it's going to be a little bit, in fact, so difficult for him to just stay up as well as to stay alive for so long and to just win this fight. But Mocambo closing in the distance, so as his teammate Cocktail driving that buggy so that he can easily flush him out from that position. And yep, it worked out. Man just on the domination. Cocktail spots him down, switch to that arm, just going to drop down. He has a suppressor on it, just going to suppress firing from the top angle, and this is going to be an intelligent fight.
No.
And okay, Eclairs won that.
UMP takes down UMP as Eclair has taken down Cocktail, and he has one chance to get hold of this one kill, but Eclair surviving on just 20 HP will be taken care of, as he, before going so, he took one more knock. The guy's shown that resilient effort, a valiant effort was needed from that side, and he really showed it. He just didn't got the company of a lot of team, but in all this situation, I won't be surprised if the team comes in and try to sandwich the situation, and before Entity Nepal is ready to take one more fight, it will be one more team that in the closer vicinity, if interested, they may charge in.
You know, things would have been different if that one grenade from the side of, I think so, it was Saga who lobbed that one grenade on top of, if I'm not wrong, it was Wong, and he survived that, you know, impact of the grenade because he was inside the living room, and that's why he lived a little bit so long. And you were waiting for that. Like, it was a PG, but Ankit has no effects on his face, no reaction from the side of Ankit. It just he knew that I'm gonna crack these type of joke. But right now, Paradox on the other side pins it out that one player, and
Ixcel,
yep.
Exactly, MVP
on that hay post down vehicle.
Exactly, the haystack is
Haystack,
what he is hiding behind. He has that bursted vehicle, and if at any moment if Paradox player decide to charge in, it can be a game end, and maybe not so.
Lineup.
Exactly, I just noticed that, and this is something that really won't haunt Paradox because they have played in the past. We have shown that even if we are lost with one player at the early stage of the game, and since we are entering into the 15 minutes, then they have been out of the most of the fight, just trying to cut off the rotation, no head-to-head fight, just the long range and semi to mid-range fight. They are looking just the most strategic one at this moment, but MVP certainly doesn't have an inch to move either to left or to right, since the other player, it seems that Quit is going for the flank angle. As we can get to see, he is in that animation. He might try to engulf him from different direction and then might flush him out.
Quit, look at that. He has no, like, not a single gun in his hand. Switch to a Car 98.
That
Switch
skin.
to a Car 98. Yeah, that skin is beautiful, just like me. But I'm handsome.
You knew it, this was coming. You knew it, this was coming.
But now Hazard joining the fray from the side of Para from a different angle, and you know, he can spot down MVP if you want to, but MVP still inside the circle. That's the best part. But oh no, the circle is not favoring them, but look at that. Third eye. Oh my goodness, they have a good control of this mountain, but I don't think so that they can control for this so long because they are again playing on the edge. Now TZF, there was a time when they were at the center of the circle. Now they are pretty far away from the safe zone.
So it is going to be Entity Nepal that is trying to cut off the rotation for straight out of Fiji. Last match it was a good game for themselves as they got a lot of placement and kill points in that match, but certainly this is going to be a time where they really need to chime upon, and since the player are in rotation, it is not going to be an easy task for them. As now Entity Nepal, are they pushing? Yes, they are. All of a sudden after one knock, this is the Entity Nepal that we get to see in all this situation. It is going to be a day end, it seems that Vision. Yes, there we go. Two knocks already under favor. This is the man that we have seen in this game. 1-5 takes one more knock. I mean, what a gobsmacking, a mesmeric gameplay coming in, and this is looking good with just 12 ammo in that DP. He will be switching his gun, but before that happens, it is going to be a complete squad wipeout. What a game. I mean, that's really not even I was ready for this push with just the 3 players. 1 player still on the backhand side, 3 players completely taking on 4 players. I mean, 100 out of 100 I would love to give to them.
Yup, you know what? Cocktail was the reason because he found an opening while with his Molotov. That's why NTD Nepal just rushed onto that one single compound. Ixcel, Kayak, he has that mini 14 spots down cocktail behind that buggy. Now they will focus on this rotation now. Ixcel, they have a great chance. They have an advantage because they have the compound in their favor, which is inside the circle. But NTD Nepal, look at that. Their confidence is so good. Cocktail just instantly rushed towards that one compound. Kayak just switched to that up, and you know what? Z-Boy just cooking one grenade, and this could be lethal. But a level 1 helmet has enough.
Ixcel, be very aware, because this is one team that after eliminating one just team in a moment ago, now they are pushing on to you. They are on the charge, as now charge is being retaliated with that Uzi, and in that combination in UMP coming to action. But M249, whenever this beast comes in, it is really tough to survive that onslaught coming in, and Cocktail right off the bat has put down 2 players straight 6 feet down into the death, and now he will be taking care of the rest of the players, as now Mogambo is getting a lot of shots from the backhand side, but he's still dodging, but it seems that Ixcel's last player is still alive and he's from different directions. That means, had that been one case where all the 3 players could have congregated in the same place, things could have really turned north, but the odds are certainly not favoring them, as now we head towards other fight where KTM Rage, this game needs to and ought to be them, but they are also very much close on the left hand side. It is going to be the Godfather, and the right, it is going to be Vengeance. In all situations, it is going to be Sujan that might be getting pinched down in all the situations.
This is the stop there from the side of KTM, but that's spray from the side of Buspo. Oh my goodness! Knocked out, duped in, just one spray. Tried his level best to finish them off, but no, that's not the case. 2 players are pretty surviving still. Sujin as well as Couple. Look at that. Couple, his position hasn't been compromised yet. Phasma just jumping, peeking so that he can spot him out. Phasma again firing some random bullets. He has a level 3 kit. You can't escape from that. Goku from the backlines takes him down. Couple, kill has been confirmed. Shelby just providing a lot of cover. Basically, Shelby just want to steal those kills, and yep, he's just moving inside the circle too. Goku is just present on the backlines again. KTM on the words of elimination. Sauron with his Mossine, I think so. Knocked out 1 player of Para. Now, Shelby slopped 2 grenades. None of them worked in his favor. Okay, he secured 1 kill, and that was for Manish. Ixcel, they got eliminated at the 14th position, securing only 3 total points. So Hitman stepping up and heating up the situation. Takes down 1 player of Rogue.
Indeed it is, but in all this situation, it is going to be, KTM's Rage student that has successfully given the revival to the player that was knocked down a moment ago, but this grenade lobbed onto face will bring 1 more knock, and the misery is just not ending for KTM, as now the flushing things will go off, and certainly it is looking a day bleak, and a tata bye-bye for them, as Sujan is the last player surviving, as 1 more kill gets into the favor of the Godfather, and all of a sudden, Godfather is looking pretty much decent. We talked about their comeback, we talked about their comeback, and the comeback is real.
But look at that, Quintus. This approach is going to be deadly, and yeah, Bad Boy somehow manages to control the situation. SEL, they got toppled down. KTM Rage on the other side without securing single point. They got eliminated at the 13th position. Shafi as well as Faik on the other side. They are present on the different compound. But, okay, that was we thought that window hasn't been broken yet, but
that wasn't broken, but still the trajectory was well enough to get into that, and that brought down more knocks and more favors to them. And you were just mentioning about the SCL NVS push. That has certainly haunted them down, as 2 players have been eliminated. If we just talk about that, it is going to be Shafi and 98, just the 2 players surviving.
Yeah, but the point is, after that push, Vengeance still holding that 1 compound. Odin from a different angle takes down the final player surviving from the side of Cosmonauts India, and that was Beast. Secured only 1 placement point for his team. Shelby compromised his position, so as Shafi. His helmet is 99% damaged, but he just wants to secure that 1 single kill. Re-peeking from the same angle, that is not the best way, but they are inside the circle, and TGF, the players have to move inside the circle, and this is going to be a difficult task for them. And look at that, Shafi just fighting some random shot, and then we'll connect a single one wasn't shot. Where are the players? But the smoke is providing a lot of cover. But look at that. Oh my goodness. received a lot of damage, and now players are going down. Shelby and only one single player from the side of PCF, and he got killed as well.
Okay, so one more team into the lobby. Godfather really tried it hard. 5 kill. This time it is going to be them. And obviously it is going to be not a lot of placement points, just 1 or 2 that will be taking things care of. So maybe 6 to 7 is what they will be taking away from this match. But as CLS and VS, they are pretty much close, where it is going to be NPC teams are positioned. And since they are trying to make a maneuver into zone, smoke cloud are being used onto that vehicle just in order to maybe take that vehicle. But certainly that I personally won't recommend, because in this sort of circle, the circle is pretty much small. 10 teams alive, 27 players alive. I mean, even if 4 players spots you down, it will be enough. If they will try to empty their magazine, it will be a day end for you. But teams have some different directions, teams have some different strategies, and it's just because of that they are in that circle near the battlefield, and that they are going for the rotation. Maybe they might wait and before that ridge that is actually positioned for themselves, and then try to take the fight. But in all this situation, it is going to be Team Fear 10. 1 kill, just the one. This is one team that might be looking to hunker down the players. Now SCL and VS last player will be taken care of, as Rogue Nation puts the final in the coffin for them. But in doing so, Zeus needs the revival.
Yeah, Zeus certainly needs it. By the T18 spots down another player of C3I, the third eye, and it seems like he's still surviving, and from a different angle, Fear 10 literally taking on a lot of damage. In fact, takes down 2 players from 2 different teams and confirmed the kill of Hitman by blowing up the vehicle. So at showdown, and we can see that Fear 10, they are looking fearless and try to move inside the circle without having any type of trouble. Entity Nepal stepping up. NPC in a bit of trouble because Entity Nepal already secured 10 kills now, increasing that number. But look at that, Para, you have to be careful because they received damage. They just got knocked out from a different angle. Now Fragger just lobbed that one smoke, reviving his teammate. It's going to be risky, but you know, you have to risk it for the biscuit.
It is. Grenade is coming in, the action is coming in, the thing are coming in, the animation is coming in, the knock is coming in, and they have been brought down to the knees as Fragger number 1 goes down. Certainly not the number 1 this time, as he made that choice to go for the revival, and that certainly backfired him. A grenade pretty much close to where Heather is lying, but still not enough to take him down, as now the ruckus is creating. Now the bloodbath is getting closer and closer. We head towards the last part of this match. 6 zone is where it's standing, and trust me, this is going to be hell of a match, as the last player will be taken care of from the side of NPC, thanks to that onslaught that is coming from the side of Tripstar of TP3. 3 kill is what they are starting, but quick! I mean, what a shot! Car 98, I mean, this was a slap onto his face. This was a slap. This was not a finish, this was a slap.
That certainly was a slap, and you know what? That was so amazing to witness. But now, NPC takes an exit at the 8. Paradox still surviving. Fear 10 secure 3 kills, goes down at the 8th position as well. Entity Nepal, look at that winner forecast, 29.27 in their favor. Smith, he is still surviving. Okay,
you remember this guy?
Yeah, I still
start
remember.
of this game. I mean,
start of the game. He lost a lot of teammates, but he's still there. And you know what? He's in the top 6. I'll never expect a player will stay so long and still alive. And I think so. He's just compromised his position, which is the bad part. But still, he's there.
Indeed it is, but Paraquit is taking down the player with just the help of grenades, and Quit 5 kills. All of a sudden he's looking a bonker at this moment, with Entity Nepal coming with all 4 players. They are certainly the man of the moment, the team that is the most probable one to get the chicken dinner at this moment. But G1 needs to realize that Cocktail is pretty much close towards him. A grenade if lobbed to perfection, he can go down both the player and animation. One grenade that goes on to some other direction. Eventually both the players lobbed grenade, but both the players at the same time just dodged off to different direction. And at the moment I was so excited to see that which will be the one that will be bringing knock, but from different direction. It's going to be Mahang that has its crosshair set up onto the players of Paradox, and now in the Entity Gaming the players are coming in, that they are taking charge onto the other players, but on the different direction. It is going to be Punk from the sides of Legend Esports just clearing his backhand side, and this is something good that I really want to see. Rola comes into action in the close range. It was semi to close, and he takes down one more player from the side of the Legend Esports.
Yeah, but look at that. Entity Nepal, Mahang, he has 6 kills out of 12 kills secured by his team, and Mugam, which is going to end up story as well as to end up the journey for the final player surviving from the side of PUBG Minion Esports. Goes down at the 4th, but he did his job. He was so good with those placements. But Nasty saw that grenade coming into his direction, escaped that impact, and just brought down to only 70. Applying that energy drink so that he can just boost himself up. 3 teams alive. 9 players are there. Look at that. Para, they are still here. Odin spots down the campus, playing down random shots. Compromise his position is going to be the bad. But Nasty also doing the same thing. That smoke is providing a lot of cover to both teams.
MG3 into action, ladies and gentlemen. Can we get to see this new machine gun coming into action? That is 7.62 that brings a lot of damage. 660, 990, which is gonna be. It seems that it is gonna be 660 that he is using for the moment, and Odin takes care, gets taken care of with the help of that MG3 Nasty coming in. But that reload is gonna be taking a lot of time for sure. But in all these situations, it is gonna be NTT Nepal getting into the last zone of the circle. It's just the 2 teams, and from both the teams, it is gonna be 1 player alive from each team. As now Punk has been taken care of as Squid goes down, and it is going to be NTT Nepal that have sent this chicken.
He was just healing himself up. Like, he was like at least healing himself up then. But you know, NTT Nepal just denying that fact as well. Secured the final game for the day. 16 kills, not massive. 2,000. You were talking about 2,400. Look at that. 2,500.
But that was Sanhok. That was Sanhok.
Yeah, okay, that was Sanhok again. You know what? Ankit is always there to, you know, cut off my points. And I was like, no, I'm still there. I'm going to, you know, prove my point. But overall ranking, 3rd. Wow.
Big jump, straight off the go, big jump. This is what we get to see. We have seen in the past, the only team that are on the 4,000 shot, it's really tough. Even if they get a chicken, they won't be finding themselves into the 9th to 16th.
Sure.
But one that are on the 2nd or the 3rd half of the chart, it's pretty much doable for them. If you get a high fragging match, it will be an easy affair for you, as we just got to see 2,509 damage secured straight off the go, 3rd position. It is going to be only the Third Eye and Paradox that must be standing above for them. But what a day it has been. Straight off the go, the Erangels, the Miramars, and then this game, it was a querish sort of shift where at the end of the circle, it shifted towards the eastern side of Gatka, and then it was all open. But in all this situation, it was again NTT Nepal showcasing the performance and the prowess that they are known for.
You know what? I love the way they approach the fight, and I love the way they just move inside the circle. If they want to control a compound, what they do is, first of all, they send 1 player, and that has to be Cocktail. Then you search out the area. Then every single team just push to boots at one single compound.
Indeed it is, but it's the time for the MVP, the most valuable player, and the title this time it goes to Para, which I was not surprised with, because this was the moment where he was just chiming in, but the damage stat speaks volume. 1342 damage. This can be a complete stats of a whole team, and that's what he himself wears on his collar. 8 kill, 1342 damage, 26.25 survival time, 1 assist. Healing done? What? Just 20, dishing out 1342 damage, healing done just 20. Are you kidding me? Like,
it's real, Uncle. It's still real.
It's surreal to see.
Let me take your specs too. I just want to wear 2 specs so that if it's clear or not. But top players, if we talk about the top players, out of top 5, we can see 3 players from a single team, and that is NTT Nepal. Cocktail is there, Nasty is there, and Mahang with 7 kills. Parakeet has the highest amount of kills, 8, 13, 42, and again, as we just mentioned, only 20 healing done. That is incredible performance from this side of this lad. If we talk about the match summary, look at that. 23 most utilities being used. Now, that's how the way you end the day.
And that's where NTT Nepal is good at. You talk about all these fights, the utilities were used to perfection. You remember in all those fights, it was NTT Nepal that before going into the fight, they were taking the knock. But for the moment, we're going to be match ranking, where we get to see, apart from NTT Nepal, which are the other team that have secured a lot of points. It is going to be Paradox OCE again with a total of 24 total points. And then comes the Legend Esports. And this was a game that Legend Esports needed to make a comeback. And surprisingly, Third Eye also getting that consistency, the name synonymous to it, with the 11 total points, and PUBG Minion Esports just the 9, but certainly that is going to be helping them.
You know what, now let's talk about the caster scores. We were talking about that Cosmonauts India, they are so good with their kill points. Now they just secured only 1 point, and that is the one place.
It's just you.
It's just you. So you're not going to share the...
No, I'm not going to have that omen on my hand.
no problem. But 6 ends straight out of Fiji. K-Team Rage again just joining the fray without securing a single kill. They got eliminated, but overall ranking here, things are interesting because NEPALZ, 3rd position, 3rd. I just dropped down to 7th position. Paradox OC again securing that 1st position for themselves. 10 points difference between 1st and the 2nd. But PUBG Minion Esports, despite of the fact they were facing a lot of problems, they haven't secured a single chicken dinner, still in the 1st place of the leaderboard. That's how you're going to play.
Look at the difference. 68, 66, 66, 66. 5 to 8. PUBG Minion, Ixcel, Reaper X, and one more team that was in the same frame. Not much of a difference. And we just talk about the teams that are on second half of the chart. It is also 62, 62. So a lot of teams that are standing on the same positioning. If we just talk about total point difference, the Legend Esports 62, Straight of Fiji 62. So just talk about this. I mean, then we get to see a leap, downward leap from 38 to 62. It's certainly looking, I mean, still doable, but that needs a Herculean effort. That needs a lot of valiant effort if we try to do so. But certainly looking bleak for the team that even after playing 8 games, talking about Cosmonauts, talking about the 6 and talking about the Godfathers. 30, 27, 25, not the start that we wanted, not the position points obviously the fans wanted, and certainly not impressive, but still games are left for them.
But after 26 to 21st, you know, that jump was pretty impressive from the side of the TGF. But I am sure that tomorrow the matches which will be played by the Group B and C, they are going to be intense.
Indeed it is. It is gonna be the most intense ones, as just perfectly mentioned, as A and D just collided in their own way. And talking about the kill leaders, we get to see Para-Hazard. I mean, no one is able to just trespass this guy. Before the start of the day, I guess he was the only one before, because it was the him that really finished things off day well. 4,076 damage, 24 kills, and the one that is really chasing him and hounding him, it is gonna be Ali Basti, the team, the player that actually got a lot of MVPs throughout the day. It was Quit this time, so a lot of players from the sides of Paradox, and just because of that we got to see them right there at the top. I mean, one more G1.
Yeah, G1, he's on the 5th position with 17 kills dished out of Rock 3000. It's 2,961, but still, you know, the important point is, Ankit, that this team, their players are so good in their individual gameplay as well as the synergy is so perfect. That's why they're on the top. The difference is not that much, only 10 points, but still, they put a good fight in every single match.
Perfectly explained by you. I mean, you need the synergy, you need the communications, and then you get to see the things and the things that are rightly done. But with that being said, it seems that it is going to be the end of the day, as we have done and completed all the 4 matches. But what a day it has been, as when Group A and D has played today. Tomorrow it is going to be different groups coming in, but for the moment it is going to be me and obviously Shivans that we're taking things care of. For the moment it's going to be peace off.
Here we go now. 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 now. Here we go 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 now.